All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a few months since I have been able to connect with Jordan. This is number 22. Let's talk number 22 and kind of changed up the phone booths here to represent kind of maybe where Jordan's at. I have no idea. He's all over the place. But I know he's not in the jungle like me. So I'm to the right, he's to the left. And he's the mystery man and I'm the mystery man. So we're just going to have you focus on our voices like usual. But we will be sharing, well, Jordan will be sharing his screen. And he obviously has some things to share with all of you. And I'm delighted to be here to be a part of that. So once again, Jordan, it is a lot of pleasure to join with you. And I know that a lot of people out there love these collaborations between you and I. So I'm delighted to have you here, man.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with you. How have you been lately?
Busy as a beaver, bro.
Mm.
Just like you.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I mean, we, launched our Spotlight course last year. That was
Hell yeah.
in August, but then, I don't know, maybe about 3 weeks ago, we decided to move it to a completely free donation-based platform, which was a huge move for me. It was kind of scary a little bit, I guess. It took me 9 years to build that sucker. So it was really, it was special to let it go that way. And it's kind of been eating away at me since I ever released it. So it was a really, from the very beginning, I was like, I wanted to release it for free. So we just decided to add the donation thing, and it's been amazing. I've gotten so much great feedback, and just felt right, felt good. And so here we are. We got these books. I've got like 5 books now. So so that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so those complement the course, and just going to keep adding to it, And you got yours, and that's why I'm here to talk to you about that. So
Yeah, man. I mean, I would love to learn more about the Spotlight course. I even have people in my platform talking about it. So it's cool to see some of the family joining in on your vision. It's great, man. I'm really excited to learn more about it. Can you give me like a brief kind of rundown, a synopsis?
yeah, it's just there's no other course like it online today. It's the granddaddy. There's 8 different esoteric modules that you go by one. It's kind of go at your own pace. You have eight different modules, and they're all different, and they all, when you do them one by one in succession, at the very end you're going to do like a collaboration of all of them, and we're using AI for kind of the foundation to get the definitions from. So the course that we have takes you step by step with video instructions, but there's downloadable PDFs, and if you know how to copy and paste, we give you the instructions on what to ask for in AI, whichever AI platform you're using to get your definitions, and how to do it. And it's so easy, somebody who's in grade school can do it. Honestly, it's just that simple. So we have astrology, numerology, human design, which, the true sky, human design. We have Enneagram. We have the personality types. We have Mayan astrology in there. We have the totem pole, which is a once in a lifetime thing. Yeah. So, and we're adding more layers to it soon. We're going to be adding more modules. So
Cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's actually I've been getting a lot of requests lately just in my world regarding the esoteric numerology blueprint. I know you remember that because when we interviewed you last year for the university, you were one of like our first special guests that we had on, and it was cool to share that with you. And it was also cool to start building a conversation around a different way to look at the life path number, And I know you have a very unique take on all things decoding. So I believe in June, maybe the beginning of June, we're gonna kick off the relaunch, I suppose. I think we could say the relaunch of our university on our new platform, but we're gonna do like a cool little like 2-week decoding focus. But it's not gonna be so deep as what you're up to, but really about like tailoring it to planning how we'll move forward, like, and there's a lot of change and a lot going on in the world, and I always have like my own methodology of simplifying things, of like keeping things super, super simple. And it's mostly because I'm not as talented as you at the decoding game, but I love to decode. I'm super passionate about it. I almost feel like that playfulness and my own outlook perhaps is interesting to people, you know? So we'll kick things off again in June with that. And I'm really looking forward to kind of just going through something that I created a year and a half ago. You know, I'm sure that happens for you too. Like when
Yeah.
you make something, you said you took 9 years on this particular course. You know, I look back at that esoteric numerology blueprint and the calculator that we made for it, and just wild to see how, you know, you released something a while back, and sometimes you do need to go through it again and refine and make it even better if you can and build on it more. So I'm looking forward to doing that soon.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I mean, speaking of new and improving, we're about ready to upgrade the Dakota website, and that's thanks to AI. Because I'm not a coder, I have some coding skills, but very beginner level, not advanced. But with AI
Mm.
and Claude and all these amazing AI tools, you can literally rewrite a website and create your own, which is what we're doing. So we're adding in, because I know that when you and I first started talking about Dakota, you were like, man, it'd be cool if you could do the moon cycles in there. So guess what? We've added the moon cycles into the calendar, the date-to-date
Oh, no
calendar.
way, man.
Yeah, yeah. So when
That's really cool, bro.
yeah, so I know that's one big thing that you wanted. And it's not just the Gregorian. We also have the Hebrew calendar in there as well with the moon cycles.
Oh,
So
that's sick.
yeah, so
That's sick.
it'll be a cool addition to be able to click on that tab while you're doing your decoding.
Yeah, man, that's really epic. I was working with somebody who's in our community. I'm not sure if he's tuning into this, but shout out to Chenzo, and he was working with me on creating my own version of like a date decoder. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
that's really my specialty. I put a lot of energy into that, especially because of the focus on the markets and crypto and investing. But you know that for sure that I spend most of my time there, and we collaborated on like a lot of ideas, but then it's just been a shelved project because I've been putting all my energy into creating this new university platform. So I'm looking forward to linking back up with him to finish that, but also it'd be amazing to connect with you on some of the things that you specialize in. I would definitely love to start bringing in some additional elements from the stuff that you've taught the world in your Spotlight course too. So we should definitely collaborate, man, again,
I'm ready,
because I
bro.
know that Decoda project, for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know if we're spilling the beans on it, but like we met in person, we hung out, and like literally with that remarkable pad I had, just started like sketching out ideas of that and came up with a name and everything. And it's just time takes its course, and I've gotten super busy. You've been super busy on your thing, but it's amazing to see you carrying the baton and continuing to build on it. It's really dope.
Yeah, thanks, man. Likewise. Well, I'm totally down for collaboration. I I got approached by a community member who I've met in person. Really super nice guy. I met him in Los Angeles, and he introduced me to this platform that's called Flow. And the guy was super nice. We had like an hour. It was a great one of those amazing, epic first meetings, and I thought, oh, this could really go somewhere because they like what I'm doing, and it's a dating kind of more geared towards dating. And I said,
Mm.
if you could take what I have, implement it into the dating scene, which we've been talking about it for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
long time. It would just change the course of dating because, I look at like even the matchmaking services. I don't know why you wouldn't use the layers of astrology and numerology for your
sure.
matchmaking because that's the blueprint. So it would be cool to just collaborate with somebody and make. I know that someone's going to do an app eventually
Mhm.
for the dating. I mean, they're
Yeah.
already kind of doing it, but I don't know if
Well,
he's going to
bro,
use
like
mine.
let's commit to that sometime soon. You know, I'm in the final stages of well, I've officially launched my new platform, so we're just putting final touches on it now. So like I will free myself up for sure in the coming months to talk with you more about that, and that'd be amazing. There's a aspect of my platform that I'll maybe show you a little bit later, which is like a member directory. So it's a global directory of everyone, but also it connects by interest and it connects by what we're calling focus badges. They're like themes that you could put on your profile so that every time you make a post,
Oh yeah.
your badge shows. So if you're putting the dating one, that will be displayed. And it's not mandatory, but it's kind of a technology that I created. And I think the way we did it is very aesthetic. So the way that it looks on posts is nice. It doesn't look like cringy or anything. It's really professional looking. It looks nice, and I think it's going to be a game changer to be able to just instantaneously see like what is the main priority for the person that's posting,
Oh
and
yeah.
you get to set that for yourself and customize it. So it's like the that plus our member map technology is the launch pad of this kind of like quote unquote friend finder.
Okay.
And that friend finder is effectively what we're talking about now, adding in that additional layer of dating. So I think it's really dope that you're throwing in the layers that you have, of course, because it's like a big piece um, to your specialty with doing the readings for people. So you've obviously over this decade long time have come up with connections and patterns where you can see people's compatibility or the opposite, right? And that's really cool that you were thinking to embrace something like that as a technology, because it's absolutely something that I'm not necessarily in need of, but a lot of people reach out to me asking about it. And at scale, I mean, I understand the opportunity here to bring that forward to people. The hardest thing though, like I'll be honest, now that I've gone through this process and that I'm in the process of having like a full-blown Apple app available in the App Store as well as the Android um, App Store, there is regulation based terms and services, privacy policy stuff that does get kind of in the way of embracing this full head on, you
Mm.
know? So I'm now fully experienced in all of the like quote unquote, what can you do? What can't you do without needing to like lawyer up and get a fuck ton of like legals sorted. So I'm just being real with you. Like I know that side of it and it's not so simple when you're doing the dating stuff, unless it's just like a straight up dating forum vibe, like something super, self-managing. But when you actually create a technology that creates that implements an algorithm,
Yep.
that's a different ball game, because you're using people's data, right?
Sure.
So, but still, like, I mean, what an amazing thing to put our resources into, right? Like I just poured the last 10 months of all of my resources available into making my new platform because I wanted to make something that brought people together and help them change their life and get back the freedom that they want.
Yeah. Well, it's important. That's what people want. I just, if you start to look at the world around you, it's pretty easy to see that not only are we going into a world of nothing being hidden, right? Everything being exposed. And this is, we've talked about this, you and I, literally Minority Report, Philip K. Dick's book, back in the 60s or 70s, talking about moving into this perfected society. You can literally create a character that looks perfect online. Can't even really tell the difference. And as the technology keeps moving forward, it's going to just get better and better, where you can't even tell if it's somebody real or not. So these things are going to be necessary, I think, to kind of to vet out and to find out, what's real and what's not. So these will be in place. But I think, to be able to say, you know what, I really want to date somebody that is really the most compatible for me and my love signature and how they're going to fulfill my emotions and all that. And the best way to do that is to look at the owner's manual, which is the astrology, and then you have all the other layers to it as well. So once you get into that owner's manual, you literally kind of know, okay, if I want to date this person, I know how they want to be loved. See, we didn't, people really didn't use this. I mean, I never did growing up. It was just, you're attracted to somebody. It was normally vanity that would bring you to the person. You thought they were good looking or whatever. So sex was a big thing, but that wears off, and then you're left with, compatibility, and, you just want bliss in your relationship, not drama. So, and this all plays into the perfected society, where crime's gonna start to go down. I think it's climaxing now. I think there's still a huge surge just because of what's going on right now. People not being able to afford things.
Yeah. And who knows where that can go.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think
I know where it'll go because I'm from New York. So I grew up around people that just stole shit because they didn't have money.
Yeah. And that was
like, that's real talk. I saw people rob people. It's fucked up. Like it's it's not cool.
Yep. Well, I mean, you think about it now, I don't know how much of the things you've seen, but I've a few videos here and there on YouTube where I kind of mind blow it in the United States, of course. This is probably all around the world, but people are complaining about the prices at the grocery store. Literally, this guy holds up this sliced fruit, and it was $40. for this package of sliced fruit, and I was completely mind blown at how much money it was. Like a bag of chips is now like $8 or something like that, something crazy. And so I thinking to myself, either people are going to start stealing to be able to afford the foods that they buy, or they're going to get really skinny. It's one or the other, man. Yeah, it's one or the other. What's your take on that?
I think like because I'm in this financial world and I talk with so many clients and I like review their portfolios, I review their budget, like their spending habits, and like this is my bread and butter, you know? I gotta admit, I think most people blow their money on liabilities, and most people do not invest in themselves.
Yeah, of course.
So if I had to be honest, I think like we have those isolated incidences where you're finding like a $40 or whatever package of fruit, but it's like pre-cut, you know, like all of that mess. Like, so sure, like, you know, if you want to have pre-cut fruit cocktail, whatever the fuck, in a plastic container, like that's always going to be more expensive. And sure, that's definitely a problem. But then the other question is like, why don't you just cut the fruit yourself?
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
but I mean, it was
Like
more
there's
like the apples are like this place was like $2.99 or $2.50 for an apple or something like that.
sure.
So it's
But I think,
pretty
but I
crazy.
like, yeah, like I travel all the time, man, and like I do obviously see the prices of everything going up, but still, I think we do have to realize the new money that people are putting into things that they were never putting into before. For example, like all the streaming services people have, and also artificial intelligence. Like I know a lot of people that have this belief now because of like I call it like AI scare mythology because it very much is this like doom about where we're heading because of AI, and everyone is under this belief that they need to get super talented at using AI or otherwise they're going to be left behind. And I thought the whole selling point from the tech companies was that like you don't have to get good at using AI because the AI will get so good that like a Neanderthal could use it and be able to generate, you know, like high quality output. So there's that like immediate weird inconsistency, but then you also have the fact that like people just put a lot of money into a lot of stuff now that did not exist maybe 5 years ago. So I don't see people investing in themselves. I see people putting a lot of money into convenience and liabilities. And I think that's where we can start to make changes. So it's a major theme behind what I'm doing with the university, teaching people how to like what we call consciously invest. And when I say conscious investing, I'm not just talking about putting money in the market. Like conscious investing starts first and foremost with yourself. Like how do you invest in your education? And if you're somebody who doesn't invest in yourself, which by the way, I think the number one skill anyone could acquire that will change your life dramatically is learn how to speak better. Learn how to take your ideas and make them understandable for other people. That's like if you want to win the dating game, you get better at speaking, right? If you want to win the game of getting a better job, you have to win the game of speaking. If you want to have, if you want to be able to convince people to support you, you know, in an idea that you have, maybe it might not be buying from you directly, but it might be you helping someone else out, right? Like it's all coming back to how you carry yourself, how do you take your ideas and make them digestible and be relatable and likable, you know?
Yep.
Everyone should invest in that. Like if you become the best day trader on earth, but you're just sitting there all day staring at a fucking screen, you know, and like you have no human interaction at all and you're not a part of this reality, you know, that you're gonna feel super fucking lonely. And then what will you have? Like you might make some money, but like money doesn't buy happiness. And anyone that thinks it does, they clearly they don't have money. You know, it's like all the
Yeah.
people that I meet that have way more money than me, they're coming to me because they're not happy.
Yeah. That's the
They're literally
paradox.
they're literally hiring me because they're like, you seem very blissful in this work thing you do, and you know, and I'm like, well, it's because like I worked really hard on myself. I worked really hard to get
Yeah.
to a state where I could be more calm about this shit, you know? Like it's not easy though. Like life gets stressful. I talk with lawyers all day. I talk like, you know, I'm like I'm a CEO of a tech startup technically, so I don't talk about this a lot publicly, but I don't feel the need to, right? Like, I don't feel the need to. I just want to create shit and I want to help people, you know, figure out how they could be in a place where they could express themselves and be a part of this thing called life, not just be in existence.
Totally. Well, I mean, you got the perfect setup for it. I mean, You are a seven of diamonds in the French Gregorian system, and that's called the millionaire's card. So, if you're a seven, if you're anybody out there, if you're a seven, that's the letter L, and that means light and love, and seven is means completion in a lot of ways. So you having that seven of diamonds really is like what's worth it to me in life. In the tarot, it's kind of like observing everything that you have. So it's like, what's really important to me? And then how can I make what I just created better? Mm-hmm. And so this first version of your platform that you just released, out of the many that you've created, as you said earlier, you're just going to continue to make them better and refine them. And that's what the seven of diamonds really is. I'm going to clean it up, make it better, make it stronger, make it faster, make it more accessible, make it more convenient. So it's one of your assets in life is that.
Yeah, like people hear this like millionaire card shit, and like I'm sure they have their thoughts, but it's like I think about like how many millionaires I've created.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. Yeah, when I say millionaire's card, I want to be clear to the audience. I'm not saying that I'm putting a label on Jordan.
Yeah, I think they get you.
Yeah.
I think they get you.
But that's amazing.
But like,
that
you know me, I'm not that guy. Like,
I know you're not.
Anything. Like, I don't show anyone my lifestyle. Like, no one knows because I don't want that to be my thing.
Sure.
Like, I don't want people to be like, oh, look at how he does life, and therefore, and it could probably help me a lot if I did.
Sure.
To be honest.
Sure.
But I just feel like that's not honorable. Like, I just want to let the work and let the voice, carry it. Yep. Let the ideas carry it forward.
Yep.
Which I mean, like that's very noticeable too with you. You're continuing to pump out stuff, and it's very inspiring, to watch your output. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's very few people that are pumping out such quality too, which is another thing that I think is very important. Everyone's just pumping stuff out, but very few people have like an eye. Like, and you very much do have an eye for aesthetic. Even if you're using a lot of AI, it doesn't matter. Like, you still have an eye for like what you want as the final product that you'll display, and that matters.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. Well, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, for me, and I've told my community this, and I don't remember where your moon's at, but my moon's in Aquarius, right? Like in between, it's a cusp, Aquarius and Capricorn. So this is where the moon is your emotional payoffs. So when you look to someone's moon in astrology, you know how they get their fulfillment. And so mine's in Aquarius. I have a new moon in Aquarius / Capricorn. So when I can build cool shit, Capricorn, and just continue to be a slave to building things, which I am, right? I get payoffs from that. And then at the same time, I get to satisfy what's Aquarius? Humanitarianism, helping communities for the greater good. So when I get to put out a platform and give it to everybody and they get access to it to make themselves better, that's fulfilling me with my moon in Aquarius, because the moon's the honeymoon. So you go on the emotional honeymoon with yourself. And that's the value of astrology and these kinds of placements. And then my moon card is the 10 of diamonds. So like, I maximize that 10 of diamonds when I'm able to share with people the riches that they can have by way of, what their code's all about, So in yours is the 7 of hearts, which is like the another 7. Literally your birth card is the 7 of diamonds. Your moon card is the 7 of hearts, and the 7s are L and light and love, and the 7 of hearts is really just what all these choices that I have and what I'm going to fall in love with and what I'm going to create and refine and make better, and all these kinds of things are just really the beauty that stands out for you as a human being, and the constant pursuit of that. So, and you do have the 9 of hearts as your spirit card, which is wish fulfillment. The 9 of hearts is the completion, in a sense, of the love aspect, like the completion of your heart, so the direction of the heart. The 9s are the bishops on the chessboard. So the 9 of hearts is a white bishop. The bishops in church, they direct the crowd and where they're going to go. The number 9 directs all the numbers below it, 1 through 8, to go to 10. So the 9 says, if you want to go to number 10, it goes through me. That's where it goes. So that's your spirit card. So all of the love that you have for your code and your screenplay, it goes through you. You become that bishop. And I can see that in you. Like you're literally, you don't even have to be religious, which you're not in a sense, technically, right? But you are playing that priest, that bishop in your own reality. And you have a community that follows your church, even though you don't call it a church. You know, your whole Waters Above brand is like a, you know, kind of a church, if you will. People go to your church. They go inside your church to get healed, to be better, to become more insightful, to have a better life, to get along with people better. I mean, ultimately, that's what a church is all about, really. You go there and you just go into the place of quietude and, you know, come out better. That's the whole objective.
I always just say that like I'm like the cup of coffee in the morning.
I love it.
That's all.
With a jalapeno sticking out the side of it.
Yeah, that's all I am.
Are you putting jalapeno in your coffee? What are you doing?
He's putting some hot sauce in that coffee. Man.
Yeah, is that the tapatio in your coffee?
You brought up the number 7. I'll quickly share something on the screen. I don't know if it'll show.
Yep. Go ahead. Let me know when you want to share.
Yeah, it should be up there.
Okay.
I hope.
Yep, it's there now.
Okay, yeah. So it's just because you brought it up twice, and I didn't even realize the connection with my code and the 7s, the 2 7s that you mentioned. But this is from my esoteric numerology blueprint. So whenever anyone joins our university, this is like where you get started. You get a calculator, and then you just plug in your birthday, and it actually gives you a different number than your life path because it's set up in a way where it goes according to a different sequence with the months. And I'm sure you talk about this a lot, Logan, like regarding the word September starts with the prefix septem, which is 7 in Latin. Therefore, it would make more sense for that to be the 7th month. So if you're somebody who's born in September, for example, and you in the Gregorian system were utilizing the 9, you would then just reduce by 2. It doesn't always work that way, by the way. That's why we made the calculator, because not every sequence of months or years can just be simplified as reduce it by 2. It doesn't work that way. But anyways, to save time, I gave everyone a brief explanation of what the big difference is between the typical life path and what we call the esoteric numerology. And number 7, I'll quickly read it. It's the ether, spiritual essence, which ties back to wisdom, and I'll quickly read through what it says for everybody. So it's giving everyone a little sample of what this is all about. Imagine if your esoteric life path was a 7. So I said, whilst many consider 7 as symbolic of completion, remember that for humans, completion isn't a goal we should strive for, because every time we seek perfection, we learn that it's actually the imperfection that's most attractive to us. Because imperfection has soul, it has texture, it has so much more life in it than just aesthetics. And to me, that's what the number 7 symbolizes. You have wisdom, but you only access your wisdom once you stop chasing perfection and being a perfectionist, and finally start to realize that your mistakes were your greatest choices all along. Your mistakes are your teachers. And along with all of these, I have a little thing at the bottom that how kind of like guidance on how to unlock your highest potential. And for this one, I said, by keeping momentum and never slowing down because of detours along the way, keep moving and stay in your lane. And remember, there's no finish line in life. All you have is this moment now. So embrace it fearlessly. And the reason I put that at the end is because I definitely have a struggle with perfection, for sure. This is very much in my essence. And if Caroline or Clementine is listening, she knows this better than everybody because she's been collaborating with me on building our website and was the project lead behind the platform that we created. And I have this like just really serious care for details. I stopped sharing the screen. I'll just wrap up that stream of consciousness real quick and pivot over to you. But like, I don't know how you feel about details, but I'm one of those people that like, if I see something and I want it my way, like a specific way, I can't stop. Like I can't leave it alone, right? And that's been a part of my whole life, like in everything I've ever done. And I've realized that like not everyone has a good relationship with just pushing past that moment where it's like enough is enough, you know?
Sure.
It's very hard to like just go, okay, it's been enough. Let's move on, you know?
Yep.
How's your relationship been with the idea of perfectionism?
Yeah, I have it. I think, you know, everybody has perfectionism in their charts. You know, especially if you have any energy in Virgo, which, you know, I got my Uranus and Pluto there. But if you're the reason why 7 really is that number of it's a number of balance, it's Libra, it's the scales, because if you imagine the sun starting off on the horizon, it pops up over the horizon and it wants to play. It's like a little child, and as it goes to the midheaven position, it becomes very dominant with its radioactivity, if you will, the radiation. And then when it hits the number 7, which is on the western side, the sun's about ready to go down into the underworld, you then move into that number 7. So literally the sun, as it carries its energy from the eastern side of the horizon to the western side, and it transverses the sky, it looks at everything that it illuminates. It's watching everything that it illuminates, and it picks up everything that it illuminates. And so when it's ready to go down into the underworld, into the darkness, from the vantage point of us as the observer, it has to balance all that energy out. And that's why the 7 of diamonds for you in the tarot does a great job of explaining that, because that is an individual looking at everything that it's collected over the course of its life through the essence of 1 to 7. And, Libra is the scales of justice. And when you get past that, you go into number 8, you now deposit into the underworld in the domain of Scorpio. The Scorpio energy is the very first energy of the underworld, number 8. So 8, that's why 8's tied to power and esoteric and death and transformation, because the sun or light, as it transverses through the sky, now has to go into the underworld and deal with that kind of energy. So that's why, you don't need to be perfect. Like Virgo if you have a lot of Virgo energy in your chart, you can be kind of challenged with like procrastination because it's not good enough. It's not good enough. That's because the Virgin, she doesn't want to lose her virginity. And if she does something, she jeopardizes the virginity loss. So she just doesn't do anything. It could be a real sticking point for people. So that's why a lot of Virgo energy for people, they like to have it a specific way. They're in their heads a lot. They're heavy critics for themselves and the world around them. They have OCD, a lot of them. They have to have, spills and messes cleaned up, et cetera, et cetera. And because 6 is the first perfect number and it's tied to carbon. But you move to 7, nitrogen, much different energy. Balancing it out and realizing, like you said in your little post, that was amazing, that you need to go through fearlessly because you're going to deposit into the underworld. And it's really all about homeostasis at the layer of 7. I mean, if you look at the blood, the blood is 7.3, 7.4 on a scale of 1 to 14. That's pH balanced. So if you reduce that by 50%, the middle point, the lukewarm that I talk about, is the number 7. 7 is lukewarm. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's very balanced. It's homeostasis. And you have a lot of that energy with the 7. 7 of diamonds, your moon card is the 7 of hearts. So it's really big in your life. So I'm not 100%. Surprised that and I'm all about the life path with you. I go by this, I call it the solar life path, September being the 7th month. And we show that during the spotlight course. Even, I don't know if you covered this, but for us, if you're born in the Tropic of Capricorn, if you're born in Cape Town or New Zealand, September's your first month.
Yeah.
So you have to flip it.
I'm in the process of once I could pivot and start focusing on other projects, I already have a full-blown system that I'm gonna come out with, and I just need to put my mind there. I'm one of those people that I just want to complete what I started. So
totally.
I'm really excited about that. But yeah, you're 100% right, bro. And it's something that I teach my people with regards to those that are born in Australia, New Zealand, and stuff.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, you gotta flip the pizza around, man.
Yeah, because everybody's following the Tropic of everybody's following the Tropic of Cancer, and it's not fair to those in the South. I think,
right.
So
yeah, a lot of unfortunate arguments and fights happen over stuff like this, but I love the exploration. I think it's great. I think it's all really great. I think it's strange how people in tropical specifically get very aggressive about what's the right way to do things. What's the perfect or the correct way. I'm sure you get that a lot too, right? When you're talking about sidereal astrology, Vedic, and referencing things like stellarium.
Yeah, stellarium is the ultimate. There is nothing that is above that, in my opinion, right now. Currently, that's the king, if there's a king in the hill in astronomy, because astrology is astronomy. So we go with the Stellarium and then Mastering the Zodiac for the 2-dimensional charts. It's really, no, you know what it did? You know what really, is convincing, Jordan, is, we put a presentation on this, the discovery of Poseidon, Neptune, back in 1846.
I just did, like, in my year of the horse decoded, I did a huge section on Poseidon, Neptune, because in mythology, Poseidon creates the horse, and then it goes back to the hippocampus. But you keep going.
Yeah. Well, so just really quickly, Poseidon, aka Neptune, was the only planet, or was the first one anyway, to be predicted with just pure mathematics. So what they did before they pointed the telescope up to the sky, they were given coordinates by a mathematician saying, if you point your telescope up to the sky, this was September of 1846, you're going to find there's a planetary body there that's disrupting the other planets. And so they did, and they documented it. And when they documented it, they said that it was right at the beginning of Aquarius, like 1 degree. And so when you confirm that with the true sky, with the Stellarium, you'll see it's right at the beginning of Aquarius. But but you move that into tropical based astrology, and it fails miserably because tropical puts it almost at the end of Aquarius.
Yeah.
And so the big thing is, it's not just like, oh, where's your Poseidon? It's like the mathematics of the discovery of it.
Yeah.
Before everybody ever looked at it was around 1 degree Aquarius. So that confirms the Stellarium and the accuracy of it. So that's why we just exclusively push that.
I made a quick comment in my last Red Pill podcast that I put out where I mentioned, I don't know why I said it, but this happens with me all the time because I don't have so much of a script to go by. I really like to freestyle a lot and just like let a stream of consciousness out. And I made a statement where I don't know if it bothered anybody in my community because they kind of get me. But I said that, like, I don't call myself an astrologer because I'm not an astronomer.
Fair enough.
And I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because I know you have a massive community of specifically people that are really fascinated with astrology, and some might even proclaim to be astrologers. But my truth is, like, it's like using AI to make music and then calling yourself a guitar player.
Yeah. It's
like, no, you actually have to put the guitar in your hands. You have to learn the skill of it. Prompting is a skill, but like that's not the same conversation. So it's great that we have Stellarium. It allows us to not have a really powerful telescope, or it allows us to live in an area with a lot of light pollution and we could still see what's actively going on in the sky. But I feel like a fraud if I was to say I'm an astrologer. And I feel like a lot of people shouldn't consider themselves one until they learn the art of astronomy. What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, calling yourself a title that's totally fine. I'm not going to take that away from anybody. But if you're going to be defining that kind of stuff, then yeah, I mean, astrology is astronomy. I mean, astronomy is the foundation, the ground floor to astrology.
But like 99% of what people do and call astrology today is they have a computer program where they type in a date and then they have a chart that connects a bunch of lines and has a bunch of symbols. That's not astronomy.
No.
So they are not the same thing.
No, astronomy is basically just it's very similar because the astronomy is really how the mechanics of the celestials move. So you could add sacred geometry into that because you're going to get retrograde. You're going to get, Venus moves in a specific pattern, creating, the flower of life. It's embedded into that. So you could definitely talk about those layers. But astrology just comes into where, you flatten it into a 2-dimensional space, and people are looking for their definitions, obviously. But,
yeah. And I'm not trying to start anything, but it wasn't to strip titles away from anyone either. It was just what I found to be very funny is the people that start these arguments about like what's the right system between tropical or sidereal. They're typically people that have like never put their eye to a telescope once in their life.
Agreed. And I mean, the paradox is that, like, the system that we use, the True Sky, Mastering the Zodiac, actually uses both systems simultaneously. So on the inside is tropical, and tropical astrology are the zodiac signs, the 12 zodiac signs. But on the outside, which is astronomy,
is all of the celestial. Yeah,
that's right. It's the constellation. So the constellations are not the zodiac, but we integrate them because This just Aries is Aries and Taurus is Taurus, and there's a constellation named Taurus, and there's a zodiac sign named Taurus. So
I have something that might be powerful and simple. I look at it as like astrology is like looking at the limbs and the body from the outside. Like you have arms, legs, a head, ears, nose, mouth, etc. And then like astronomy is like the gut microbiota.
oh, okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I mean, essentially, you take the body and you wrap it around the whole entire wheel. The head goes in house number 1, the rising position, and you wrap your...
To some people.
Yeah, to some people. I mean, I do. I mean, I do, because if you follow astrology, you'll know, like, your first house is how you think, because it's tied to Mars. It's your ambition and drive, so...
To provide a little context for everyone here, because I admitted I'm not an astrologer, my whole take on it all comes back to anatomy and mythology, actually. So
yeah,
I love when I see people combining these particular elements, because I feel like it's part of the concept of know thyself. Like you must know thyself, and then you'll know the celestials. And of course, people like you can help people do it the other way too. But there's a way to like to become founded by self, for example.
Yeah.
You know, they're just going inward and being very calm and quiet and still, and intuition takes over, you know.
Yep.
It's so great though to have people like you, especially, that can explain it to them, you know, this phenomenon that could be considered intuition, or what we could call the concept of mistakes or mishaps, or you know, misjudgments, or like what we were talking about very early about the concept of dating, right? Where if you knew a system, therefore it might prevent you from being with a very toxic person potentially. I don't know. I'm not a firm believer that like you can systematize the experience of man, like you could systematize fully the personality and the state of being. It's actually one of my things that I go out of my way to debunk. For example, whenever I'm like in Eastern Europe or in places that are known to be quote unquote cold and like emotionless, I go out of my way to make those people like, can I make you cry? Like, can I make you laugh? Can I make you open up effectively? And I could do it every fucking time. It's like my specialty. So I love that a bit. Like that's my superpower, I think. It's the ability to like make people feel things, you know, even if they're very cold culturally. Right. And on the other hand, when people are very excited and very overly emotional, the ability to make them more emotionally sophisticated, right? To get them centered and a little bit more grounded and not so reactive.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I think being grounded is really important in this day and age, because so many people become, and I think we're all guilty of this in some way, but a lot of people get unhinged really quickly, where they get kind of like some pushback, you know, on their truth, and it's a thing, you know. It can be an addiction as well as pushing back, and then you get that resist. Some people here that are listening to this podcast, you actually you thrive in chaos. You may not admit that, but your life is kind of set up in a big way where chaos keeps you're like wondering why does chaos keep coming to me? Well, if you study your code, you'll figure it out. You'll see it, right? And and it's supposed to come your way, and then you got to deal with it. You have to. That's what your code. That's what your screenplay. Your character got chaos. Like I know people. I look at people. I observe so many people's lives, and I see it. I see that. Like if I could be you, I probably would hate it, because it's kind of like. You ever watch any videos on India or Bangladesh and those areas that are very toxic, like the most toxic city in the world? One of the top most is Bangladesh.
There's like cows eating out of the dumpster.
Dude, it's
fucking crazy.
It's so crazy. And just listening to how many cars are blowing their horns all day long, it's like a nightmare being over there. Like there's no quietude at all in that place.
I just saw a video from this guy who's like a CIA agent who was posted up in India for like some extended period of time. And he's like, out of all the countries that I've ever lived in, he was like, in India, people will literally pull their pants down and take a shit on the street. Like, and then just pull their pants back up and keep going.
What?
And he said he saw that every single day he was there.
Wow.
Of course, India's massive, right? So if there, of course, is areas that are not that's not, but like the fact that that's a daily occurrence anywhere, you know, and the cows eating garbage out of the dumpsters. I've seen videos of this, like a guy live streaming, you know, like there's no way to fucking edit this. It's just a guy live streaming. He's walking by. There's a dude like the butcher in town, bro, is cutting the meat
Yeah.
between his fucking toes.
Yeah, I know, dude.
It's
All the flies
crazy,
and yeah,
bro. It's
dude.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and then people, you know, one of the funny things about my work is like I'm super like anti-Eastern spiritualism in a lot of ways because it's like what creates most of these cults. And I study cults. That was a big theme in like my awakening of like, why do people fall for shit? Like, why do people have weak egos? And it's not their fault. A lot of people are born into that world and they have to like heal their ego. You know, they have to exercise it effectively.
Hmm.
And anyways, like so I want to help those people, you know? Like I learned over the years that like that's my purpose in a lot of ways to help people heal the ego. But getting back to like this whole Eastern spiritualism thing is like it's a core theme in all of these cults, whether that be something like yoga or pranayama or tantra or whatever. And whilst all those things are fine and they're not necessarily bad things, they've been marketed as these like instruments of impeccable change with no flaws and how somehow like they're only good, and nobody realizes like the energy work that's happening here. You understand?
Yep.
So like we could break it down deeper and I think we'll have a really enlightening discussion, but to get to the point of it, it's like once you learn the origins of all the popular moments in history where like yoga was spread outside of India, and then you go study guru culture in India, it will teach you everything you need to know.
Hmm.
It will literally teach you everything you need to know. So when I learn about a society that like has this going on, some of the things that we said before, it doesn't shock me. Like it doesn't shock me at all because we see this all the time with all the gurus that run these yoga cults. And I'm not just talking about recently. I mean like in the last four, like basically since the idea of yoga became popular,
Sure.
like marketable and like very well known, which is a very recent occurrence on the world stage. When people talk about how yoga was famous in the past, no, it fucking wasn't. It was, first of all, it was sort of introduced to the world as a competition that only men did. It was mostly competitive, like bodybuilding. That was what yoga used to be.
Hmm.
And then when they found out that there was a way to just market it to white people, that then it took off.
Sure.
That's dark. I don't want to like make it seem like it has to be this big racial.
Yeah,
Like I'm
because I
not
do
going.
yoga, dude. What are you saying?
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with it.
I
It's
know.
like
Just playing.
that's the point that I'm getting to is like, but when you learn about the origins
Sure.
of like how it came to be this thing, and then everyone passes it off as healthy,
Yeah.
that's where we need to start going like, well, what's the origin of this thing? And there's the clear theme of every popular yogi that we know their names. They were effectively controlling people sexually. They were brainwashing them, you know, you name it. And that makes you start thinking deeper as to how is this possible? Well, when you stretch out your body and you start opening up your energy centers, whatever you want to call them, chakras is the Eastern spiritual term. When you start opening all this up and you start aiming for this concept of the Kundalini awakening and all of this, you're making yourself able to be reprogrammed by somebody else.
Hmm.
You're opening up your the back end code effectively to be hacked. So that's how they're able to infiltrate. Now, the New World Order does this also through television. That's predictive programming. So when you watch a television show and it's showing you that the world is going to have some apocalyptic end time, you know, um, they want you to all feel that way because then you'll manifest it. If we all start to believe in that outcome, it will be. So the getting back to the yoga thing, it was much harder back then in the, you know, the 70s and 80s to predictively program people with a fucking newspaper.
Totally. Yeah. I mean,
Back then, what they were trying to show everyone was like the stupid man in the talk show, you know, like the Archie Bunker.
yep.
And that's they were programming you in a different way, right? Like
Yep.
so, but that was the time where like that yoga stuff really started to spread and go from like 0 to 60, right? It was also the rise of the cults in California predominantly, but we
Yep.
saw people all around the world. Even Japan had these like never did this stuff ever before until the rise of guru culture. And
Yep.
it's fascinating to me.
Yep.
And I know you are very open about your experiences as a was it Jehovah's Witness, right?
Yep.
So you have an upbringing that I believe you've been open about where like there is this kind of conditioning, right? Like this kind of like aiming for a mind that is easily controlled. And how did it how did that go for you? Like, because you're clearly a very unique person and like you're a very seemingly very powerful mind. So like did you break out of that on your own or like what was that process? If you don't mind talking about it.
No,
Or you
dude,
don't have
I
to.
don't give a shit, man. I'm super transparent on this stuff. It's not like I haven't talked about it before. No, I was raised as a JW, and so I didn't know any better. And I went through my whole school base. I mean, I got out when I was around, I think 16 is when I told my mom. My mom was the main, you know, person in my life that was the JW. She's still a JW to this day. She's been in the JW organization for 56, I don't know. But she's obviously, you know, all in when it comes to being all in. But my dad was like, he didn't want nothing to do with that. So it was my mom that kind of got me into it. And, you know, I went through the whole thing for 16 years from the time I was born until I was 16. And I finally, at one point in my life, I remembered I wanted to play sports. I was good at sports, and I wanted to play basketball in high school and baseball. And that was a big proponent for me. And then, of course, you know, the draw to women and all that stuff. And so you know, when I got out at 16, I remember telling my mom I kind of broke her heart in a way. But you know, it is what it is. And then I literally made up for lost time. I went on this huge rebel streak. I moved out when I was 17. I moved into a buddy's house, and the guy the family that I moved in with, they had 3 boys, and 2 of them, one was below me in a grade, the other one I was in the same class. And then their older brother, he was like a heavy metal dude, and he listened to like Black Sabbath and Metallica and all that stuff, and he was a pot smoker. So at 17, you know, I just naturally resonated with him when I was living with these people. And we bonded, and and now I look back and I reverse engineer it, and I compare my astrology chart to it and all that stuff, and there it is. You know, religion, a big thing. I got my wound of Chiron in Pisces, the church, you know, but then I have Scorpio in the first house, which is kind of the esoteric, the underworld. So my mind is geared towards being the outlaw and being chaos and not wanting to, you know, work with the light side of things, if you will. So, but I'm both, you know, obviously. I do a lot of that stuff both. But it is a cult, and I don't regret any of it, obviously. It was something that was part of my past, and I'm a huge fanatic about breaking down religions, which I do all the time, because I got my Rahu in Sagittarius, which is the higher mind in philosophy. So I'm geared to do this. I'm geared to break it down, but I am really an adversary when it comes to these organizations and all that stuff, because of my placements in my astrology and numerology and cards and all that stuff. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I want everyone to know that like I've always wanted to work with these people. Like I like tried one time talking to the Church of Scientology just to like ask a fucking question, and they went AWOL on me and like chased me for like five city blocks, and I was like, fuck these people, bro.
That's
Actually, I take
funny,
that back
dude.
because they're probably listening to me right now. They probably got some guy that like gets paid all day. You hear about these people? They like look through your trash.
Yeah.
They look through your mail. Like how? Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah. No,
Anyways.
I mean, dude, what's fascinating?
Shout out to the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, man. Hey, I have no ill. I think Ron Hubbard is a fascinating guy. His character's fascinating, and
It's just I had like a straight up real experience, like the ones you see in documentaries. Like it's not fake. Like these fucking people will straight up walk and follow you and ask you like, what are your crimes? It's crazy.
yeah.
It's a real experience. I wish I fucking filmed it. It was super like, what is the word? Like surreal.
Well, we believe you. I mean, if people can believe eyewitness accounts of things that
I
happen
don't
in the
fucking
Bible,
care if anyone believes
no,
me or not.
I know,
remember vividly.
I know, but I'm saying is like this is like Like you have no reason to kind of, I mean, that's literally
no,
what happens.
I wish I just recorded so I could show people how like what you're seeing in documentaries isn't make believe. Like
Yeah.
it's not like somebody's fabricating it to make them look bad, which is always their thing. They're like, oh, they're people just make like a smear campaign. It's like it's absolutely not. It's a reality.
Well,
I've never seen a Christian do that.
Well, they just do it in different ways. You know, they do,
I'm just saying,
the
I've
mega
never
churches
seen...
the mega churches are pretty badass. I've been to plenty of them, especially like a Fellowship Church in Texas. Amazing place to go, and just the experience. It's an experience, you know. And there's a lot of love, and there's really good people, and just like any church, really. But you know, the stories and stuff really kind of blow my mind, Jordan, because when everybody thinks they got it right, which they are. You have the Church of Scientology, and they have told the people, we're from this alien being who, you know, basically brought people here, and so that's their story. And then you have like the Mormons, who I don't know why people would say they're wrong, because Joseph Smith supposedly got visited by somebody. He went to the hills and found these gold tablets, which nobody has access to because they're not real. But that's what their truth is, and I don't know why they're wrong. Yeah. That's what religion does, and that's why I don't want any part of it. Whoops.
I agree with you. I think they're all right. Like I watched that Xenu shit, like the ice
Xenu,
cubes falling,
Xenu. So
the
funny,
ice cubes fell out of the plains into volcano. Watch that be real.
Oh my god,
like,
dude, it's so
like
trippy.
Every one of you here, instead of telling your children that they were delivered by the stork, tell them the Xenu story.
Xenu story, baby.
Equivocal.
There you go, Xenu.
This is the better story. Your kid is like 6 years old going to school being like, my daddy told me that I get dropped from an ice cube into God.
To the volcano.
You will literally have child protective services at your house.
Yeah. But I mean, this is how the Church of Scientology is the backbone of it is. Like, you can't be part of that. I mean, I guess you could not believe in it, but these people they're all in. I look at those, they're all in.
The one thing that's fascinating specifically about Scientology is the results their people get. Like the people who go there and commit to their courses and like do the whole thing.
Yep.
They go on to become very successful people. Not that like is the barometer of worth on this earth, but like they do have children. They do not commit. Usually they don't commit, like, you know, so it's like I don't even know how much I want to keep going about this because I'm giving them way too much of my prana. But staying on the theme generally of religion, I find specifically Scientology's methodology of like getting people to deeply surf their subconscious. There might be something powerful there. You know, there's powerful practices in all of this stuff. Like, I believe the Jehovah's Witnesses, most of them like hate this, but don't you have to like go like talking with like knocking on people's doors and shit?
Yeah, I did it when I was a kid. I hated it. I was definitely afraid of.
Yeah, you hate it, but like actually that like is a skill set of being rejected. Yeah. Like, there's a skill called being rejected.
Yeah.
And maybe a child shouldn't have to go through it, but like it's a thing that you will get eventually. And a lot of people in today's day and age, they don't know how to handle the technology of rejection.
Yep.
So when you learn how to be rejected, you start to embrace the pain of rejection, you start to like by default reprogram your path, or like maybe we'll say align with a path that is meant to be, because you give up that control, right?
Totally.
So we could look at it as negative to be like knocking on people's doors and trying to trying to get them to join your squad, but it's the technology of rejection that you're learning in that experience, and that could be very powerful for a developing mind, you know. So I think that's awesome, but like it's just maybe the strategy could be refined, you know, like maybe the protocol could be a little better.
Maybe.
And I could imagine it's very traumatizing for children to have to go through that. You know, I don't know how it affected you, but like I believe there's something to that. If I had to like pull out a pro versus all the cons.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, man. You're a kid. You know, when I was a kid going through high school, I was in a very small school. My graduating class was about 86 or 87 people. my high school class. So it was very small, very small. So to
Mhm.
tell you, but so everybody knew everybody, and growing up, everybody knew I was a JW. So when it was time to pledge allegiance to the flag, guess who wasn't doing that? Me. I wouldn't even stand up. Everybody would stand up, and people would look
Oh,
at me.
dude.
Yeah. So like,
Bro, same. I didn't stand during the
oh, you did it
Pledge of
either.
Allegiance.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, I didn't do that shit. And
Okay. So you get a little JW in you.
N-
I'm just
Yo,
kidding.
there might be something like that. I didn't want to
Yeah.
cut you off, but like that's crazy. I've never met another person that didn't stand.
Yeah. Yeah. There was always that way.
What the fuck,
You
bro?
just
That's
you.
crazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
man.
That's
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So
Because
no.
I knew another. I went to school and I had a kid that was oh, I don't know if we had like that one class though that you have to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So I don't know if I could confirm. I'd be lying.
Mine was.
I didn't know they didn't do it though. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. There's no government. There's no. It's very.
There's no
it's very-
government?
I mean, no pledging allegiance to the government is what I mean.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
supposed to be. But it's a
Yeah.
paradox. It's a contradiction because in the book of Romans 6:23 it says it specifically. But anyway,
yeah.
there was no Christmas parties for me, no birthdays. When the kids all got to do that, I couldn't do that.
Right.
So I was an outcast. And I know why, because I'm an outcast now. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of like following suit in a way. I don't want to be part of. I'm a nihilist, man. Really, I'm a true nihilist. You know, in my own ways, I'm a nihilist. Not in a. The definition of a nihilist, I think, has many different facets to it. But I am definitely a nihilist, where, you know, I want nothing. I don't want to be part of anything. You know, but I am. So it's a paradox. You know. Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, I'll read the definition real quick. Nihilism is a philosophical belief that rejects the idea of inherent meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value in life. There's something there, you know. It's tough to pin it down as nihilism because people usually they juxtapose it to religion, right? Like, because that's what gives people meaning is religion most of the time.
Sure.
But it's very tough to pave your own road. I think that's really what occurred here. You know, you had some of that in your spirit from the get-go, and you know, just circumstances held you back, and that's just life. We're all physically held back from the things that we would call freedom when we're kids.
Yeah.
So we have to go along with it. But the Pledge of Allegiance thing is fucking hilarious, bro. Like they called my mom and was like, "Why is your son not standing?" And I'm like, "'Cause they kill soldiers." I literally said that, and they were like, "We're going to fucking suspend you." And I'm like, "I don't care. I'm not lying."
Well, that took a lot of balls, man. At a young age. I mean, it's not like you were.
Yeah, I literally said they kill soldiers.
Yeah, well,
What am I pledging allegiance to? This is insane. This is insane. I don't pledge allegiance to a flag that is all about murdering people.
Yeah, and it is.
Like, and I'm actually super pro America, like, believe it or not. Like, when anyone asks me, like, what's your favorite country, where out of all the places, like, where would you rather, I fucking love America. Like, it's my favorite. I know you might not feel the same because you're a Mexico,
no, actually,
but,
I
like,
do, man. I do. I've lived
fucking
all over
love-
the world, and I think
love America.
the
Like,
US
I feel
is
like
badass.
I'm more of a patriot than these people that are like going to these MAGA rallies and all this because they don't know shit about their history. Like, I actually know about this place. I know that, like, America is like the Garden of Eden, bro. Like, this is the original world. Like,
Yeah.
Florida might be the original old world. Like, so I don't know how deep we'll go there, but like, it is sad when I say these things and people are like mad at me about the whole America thing or what the Trump situation. Like, they think, and I'm like, Trump doesn't represent this place. Like, the military doesn't represent this place. None of those, the flag doesn't represent this place. We want it to because we're simple people, you know? So when I was a child, I was like, these things are silly. Like, I'm not standing. And
Yeah.
they tried so hard to get me to do it. And I was like, there's zero chance. Like, you will literally, what are you going to do? You can't make me do it. Like, it was like, I literally got them in this crazy checkmate because I was like, you can't make me do it. It's impossible for you to make me do it. It's illegal.
That's awesome, dude. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for that. Jordan in his
And
young
once
glory days.
I learned that you could say no. Like, that's another thing. Like, we talked a little bit ago about the technology of rejection. There's like the technology of boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, say no to shit. Like, if it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't align with your Yeah, if it doesn't align with your soul, then like why? So maybe that's missing, like a missing element for a lot of people when they teach kids. Because I don't know where I got that shit from. Like everyone was shocked at my whole like, because how kids are. They're like, just stand up, shut up, just stay. Like they're like they just want you to go along with it. And I was like, why? This is so crazy. You want us to all go along with this scam?
Yeah. Well,
And it's peer pressure, and it's the same thing with smoking. It's the same thing with all of that stuff. And I thought that was cringy when I was a kid. I was like, I never fell for any peer pressure stuff. I always saw people doing stuff that I knew they didn't want to do. And I thought that was like a supreme weakness.
interesting. Interesting that you were an out. Like I look at that character, and that's the character that I value a lot. Because I was like, get in line. For me, it was like, don't ask questions, get in line. Not in accordance with the government, but with the religion I was raised up in. I thought that was the ultimate truth. And what's the problem with these religions as well? And this is cookie cutter. I think this is standard for a majority of the people that are in religions, is they're great judgers. Sure. I know that I was when I was growing up, because I was taught that if you don't follow the ways of the JW Church, you're going to be destroyed. So you're instantly and automatically judging people just by that standard of fact in their religion. So when you go knock on doors, you try to convert them, and they disguise it with a lot of love, which they do. But underneath it all, man, there's superiority, and there is, we got the truth and you don't. They call it the truth. Are you in the truth? That's what they would call it. And now I'm like, am I in your truth? No, I'm not in your truth. Right? Mm-hmm. So but there's a lot, and this is all the religions think they got it right. They all think they got it right. And essentially the paradox is that they are right. But it's when you think you got it right and you stand above everybody else and you start to label and judge and criticize. And that's what the JW organization was really good at. That's what I got from it anyway, was, that I'm living this life where I'm not doing what the world's doing, and I'm going to make it and you're not. And you don't say that outwardly, but that's kind of the vibe you're getting. And so, the JW organization has had a lot of problems because they've had a lot of like in-house issues with the law. They keep the law out of things. So they had a lot of like, a lot of negative things that happened in the church and within the Kingdom Hall, and they just don't bring the law into it, and they keep it within the governing body and the heads and the elders. And that has caused lawsuits and massive pulls at their finances, to where they're in I don't know how much trouble they're in with finances, but they got a lot of lawsuits going on, or they did.
Oh yeah. I think they just came out with a documentary. They probably came out like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where it was like this huge pedophilia thing going on.
Yeah, that was the big one.
Yep.
When you hide that stuff, it's just crazy, because you're not good. You want me to, in Romans chapter 6 verses 23, be in subjection to the governing authorities. Well, you're supposed to do that, but that's not what they do. They literally go against their own text.
Yeah.
So it becomes a contradiction, but they'll justify it. And that's because one main reason why, I think, is because they don't want to have the dirt. They want to have this organization that's clean and wholesome. We're the best. We're the cleanest. We don't celebrate holidays. We don't do anything that the world does. And you need to keep that reputation. And so what do? They keep out the law and the government. And now it's kind of blowing up in their face with all these lawsuits. It has, anyway.
Yeah. My thing is, like, I'm open to it all. It's just the children stuff is a big problem for me.
Yeah.
That's like definitely the one. And of course women, just because they're physically weaker, So there's a lot of that like dominance over them physically because of that.
Yeah, the governing body in the JW organization, there's no women. It's completely patriarchal.
Yep. Same. I feel like there's a lot of crossover between Mormonism. Like,
for sure. Dude. Well, those are the churches. If you study the JW and the Seventh-day Adventists and the Mormons, these kind of all came out of the same, foundation and root. You have Charles Taze Russell and then Judge Rutherford, and these branched off when Russell kind of had a falling out in the Seventh-day Adventists. And so these are all kind of, branches of the tree, if you will.
Mm-hmm. I love this stuff, man. Like, I've been super fascinated with religion my whole life. And I have the opposite story of you. I was born, I think I told you, um, my mom was an atheist,
Yeah, I
and I
remember you
didn't
telling me
even
that.
know. Yeah, I didn't even know until I was like a teenager. I asked her, I was like, why don't we do this stuff like that everyone else does? And she was like, well, I'm an atheist. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I didn't know anyone who was an atheist. But she wasn't, she literally never spoke about religion. She never spoke badly about religion. I've never heard her say one thing about it. It was like it didn't even exist for her.
Mm.
Very weird. Very, very weird. And like I think my grandparents were like just super like liberal, like New York City, back then when it was like cool,
Sure.
like just like New York city people, like
Yep.
city folk,
Yep.
So
Yep.
maybe there is no religion in that world. Like their religion is capitalism and going to work all day, Like that's their religion is like getting in a taxi cab and going to work and then coming home and then buying shit to eat and then just recycling. There's no like touch with nature. There's no clean air they ever get in their lungs. Like, just city people. They don't have any idea. So I guess that is technically religion to them is like work.
Yep.
There's
I,
no time for there's no time for that other stuff.
yeah. I don't know. I look at everything through the lens of, if we're going to use the acronym God, generate, operate, destroy, I think that's completely legit. And I look at everything that way. So when you have something brand new, that's generate. 1776, July 4th, generate the Constitution. And when the Constitution was created, there's no amendments, there was no ratifications. It was essentially for the people, by the people, and it was like a baby. It was pure in its own form. It wasn't perfect, but it was pure. And what happens over time, it moves to the D, the destroy. And that's where these organizations end up falling down. I mean, essentially through our own lives, we born a baby, generate, we operate, and then we die through the D. So that's how all I feel life is moving through is the God aspect. Everything is the divine. So
Yeah.
organizations rise and fall, empires rise and fall, and that's how corrupt it's supposed to happen. It's the natural way of life is life and death. So we're seeing, and maybe the United States right now is we're seeing kind of the orgasm state where it's about ready
Mm.
to dump its load, man. Not necessarily. I'm
I
being
think it's the
serious.
whole world. I think it's the whole
Yeah,
world.
but I mean, what's the center?
Like,
What's the center stage? Who's at the center stage right now? Really, it's the
but
United
but
States.
take this into the theory and let's riff. The idea behind AI is that people who are not as fortunate would be able to have an amazing amount of output and be a part of the global system.
Yep.
Like the invention of the mobile phone, for example, like somebody in Nigeria could trade crypto or whatever and like become incredibly, or they can, now let's stick to AI purely, right? Because that's way more disruptive. And somebody in Nigeria could be using a technology that is like a deep fake to make themselves look like a Swedish woman who creates an OnlyFans account.
Yep.
And that could just automate content that's just being pumped out all day. So I'm not saying Nigerian people do that. I'm just letting everyone know that like wealth now is easy for everybody. Literally.
It is.
Everybody should be able to access an opportunity to generate wealth. And it's the way we do it. Is it honorable or is it not? Right? That's a side conversation, but just stay on track here. If people in like the third world, for example, now can be equalized, or if people that are living in like impoverished areas, like areas that don't get the same amount of job opportunities, etc., even in the first world, they now have this breakthrough technology of artificial intelligence. And that's just the first layer. There's not even the humanoid robots yet, which is unbelievable, right? Instead of working class people putting a down payment on a car to get a car payment, they could put a down payment and get a payment plan on a humanoid robot that could therefore work for them theoretically, right?
That's good. Yeah.
So just hang out with me, right? Like now imagine, why isn't the orgasm possible for all the rest of the world? Because everybody just had a paradigm shift. The poorest of the poor in the poorest countries, the poorest of the poor in the richest countries, And then we end up with this world where, like, if you were already pretty good at something, you're not as valuable as you used to be because it's been equalized. So you have to be really unique and exceptional in order to thrive. Like, I don't want to say in order to thrive, but in order to stand out, in order to be something that is like considered special. Another quick thing. This is noticeable in sports. Right now, like if you watch a basketball game, these guys are scoring like 100 points minimum every fucking night. They're just always score. It's like they never miss. It's like a magnet is on the basketball or something. Like we have centers fucking 7 feet tall shooting 3-pointers and nailing all of them.
It's because it's moving. It's all equilibrium. It's all moving to that perfection.
But that's not happening only for America. That's happening in Dominican Republic with baseball. That's happening in Japan with, so like it's happening everywhere right now. I think when we isolate America, that's like what everything for me seems to be. When I open up my ears, everyone's just like America, America, America. And I think it's because of Donald Trump. If we remove Donald Trump from the conversation, I don't think we would keep saying America. People are like, America's going to have a civil war. I'm like, every time we say that, another fucking country has a civil war. Oh, the American dollar is going to collapse. Every time we say that, there's been like 15 currencies in the last 3 years that have literally actually collapsed. Not the US dollar. So like I think my take on our future is very much not isolating the United States, because I don't see how that's a sophisticated outlook. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think opening and broadening up the aperture is a requirement, I think.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, throughout history, when you look at the patterns of history, every empire that starts off ends up collapsing. So to say the United States is not going to collapse, that would be completely going against the fabric and patterns of history, because it will, according to what history repeats itself. So it's just a matter of when. You
made an amazing quote yesterday. I was watching your live. I loved what you said regarding that the history is like essentially fake. So like when we create our theories or prediction models based off of past events that are historical, who's to say that those events were fabricated? It was something along those lines, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which I agree with. And now let's entertain the idea of who's to say that there was a time where there was the Dutch Empire. How the fuck do you know?
Yeah, you're completely right. You're going on history.
How do you know about the British Empire? Everything we know is what they want us to know.
Yeah, I agree.
So in 20 years, when our like when they're being taught about C-19 in schools, they're going to tell you exactly what they were telling you on CNN every single day in 2021.
Yep.
Where people were dying in a motorcycle accident and they were calling it COVID death on the death certificate. Like straight up, bro. It's fucking make-believe. So let's entertain that.
That's a great point, dude. I mean, it's a valid piece of...
My quick summary there, like to wrap it up, is just like, what if the quote-unquote American Empire is just the age we're in and it ends all as one? And there needs to be a king. And America is, for example.
Yeah, we just did The Boys Decoded today, and I showed people that Donald Trump right now, not only is he playing Homelander, but he's playing King Nebuchadnezzar from 2 Kings, and made all the connections. That's my opinion, but he's definitely playing that king. But just remember, Jordan, that when you buy a new car, you can preserve it and put it in a museum and never drive it, so it'll stay that way. But the idea of a car is you drive it, and when you drive a car, not only does it depreciate, but it will eventually land in the junkyard, or for parts, or it will break down. So the idea behind these empires, whether the history has been fabricated, which I think there is some history that has been fabricated,
for sure.
But we all live, and we are born and we die. So the United States of America, from the Constitution, the same pattern is going to derive from that, where it was born in 1776, and I don't have the forecast on when it's going to collapse, but it will, because every empire does. Just like every car lands in the junkyard, every piece of food you eat lands in the toilet. Your toilet's the most expensive piece of furniture you have in your house, because everything lands in there. right?
If you have a good digestive system,
Well,
yes.
even if you
But for me,
don't, but still, I mean, even if you're constipated, you don't take a shit for 3 days, it still lands in the toilet.
yes, let's hope.
It's the most
I have way
expensive piece of furniture you got. I mean, people should be making really nice toilets because that eats everything. All of your
good
Costco
investment.
bill goes in the toilet. All the things you drink and eat, all your grocery bills goes in the toilet. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with the rise and fall of it all. That is a universal law for sure. It's just to provide context and to provide something that has like I just think there's so many Americans right now, especially that are really let down. Like they're super disappointed. They're like, I thought this would get better. It didn't. And then as they're saying that, they're starting to believe other places are substantially better. And I just want to let everyone know that I think there's very much a equalization as we speak, like it's happening. It's on purpose, it's designed to be this way,
Yep.
where it eventually becomes all equal, right?
Yep.
Now, we could call that the age of Aquarius, whatever. In my specific work, I think we're in the transition phase, right? And as the transition phase moves on, we still have a lot of symbols of the old age or this current age we could call Pisces, right? We still have the symbols here. So, have I talked to you before about like the mathematics that got me to pointing out the year 2140?
No, but those numbers are. Go ahead, tell me, because those
Yeah,
numbers
just
are badass, dude.
because a lot of people they're like they want to know like when will the world end? Like everyone's like, tell me when the world like when is it over? It's like super funny because I don't give a fuck. But
Once it ends when you go to bed, that's when it ends. You wake up to a brand new
yeah,
world every day.
yeah, the world ends when this podcast finishes.
Yeah, this podcast said for the end, the world's gonna end. The day that never comes.
Yeah. No, but all jokes aside, like you mentioned 1776. I was watching your preview a little bit earlier on the Hitler. You were like had a section on the
Yeah,
Hitler
the Hitler
Youth,
and the boy. Yeah, the
and
Hitler
I
Youth.
and I noticed the July 4th connection, and I was
Yep.
like, "Yo, this is wild."
Yeah.
Because if anyone is unaware, this year is the 250th anniversary since the 1776 event.
Yep.
And it will be happening during the lunar month of the horse. So we're in the year of the horse, and then we have that synchronicity there. That's pretty powerful. It'll also be happening during the World Cup. So there's a lot of weirdness to that because, of course, the World Cup will be partially hosted in the United States of America this year.
Yeah.
And we've already seen crazy like issues with airlines and anyways, I don't want to fractal off into too many areas because I mentioned the 2140 concept. And all I did was I took 13 times 28
Okay.
and that gives you 364 plus 1776 brings you to the year 2140.
Okay.
This is my way of like taking, you know what they say, like the truth is hidden in plain sight. So 1776 to me was the last reset. That's my
Interesting.
truth. I'm not trying to prove anyone else wrong, by the way. I'm probably wrong. I will say I am 99% certain I am wrong so that no one could show up at my door with pitchforks
That's
and
the
torches.
paradox, though, dude. But you wouldn't say that if you didn't think it was true. So for
Yeah, well, you know what's the good thing is we'll all be fucking dead.
yeah, we'll be all dead. Exactly.
At least this version of your body. Like, there'll be some Elysium type thing that we'll be able to like jack into our, like exoskeleton robot life. But all jokes aside, I got to this 2140 number because of countless conversations I've had with other decoders and obviously my own research. And it's just my methodology of like just taking what is the thing that's always in our face. Well, we have the formation of the Bavarian Illuminati in the same fucking year as the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Yep.
So why are they memeing this year? And by the way, all of these founding fathers, these are not real people. Like everything that you've ever learned is fake. Like Napoleon Bonaparte, not a real person. This is all player characters. They're archetypes. There has been many Napoleons in the past. He plays a role. This is all really fascinating to deep dive down, and we can go all those different directions, but you got excited when I said 2140, so I want to hear why.
Well, it's because 2 Kings chapter 24 verses 1 is the very first time King Nebuchadnezzar's talk about, which is what Trump is playing right now. 24 versus 1. So that anytime you see the 2, 4, and 1, it's connected to that, and then those are the numbers of Jupiter's symbol, 2, 4, and 1. So sine wave and cosine wave in numerology is 214.
Yeah.
So those numbers are huge. Huge,
and that's
huge,
also
huge.
like the exoteric Valentine's Day, right?
Yes.
Is that February
February
14th?
14th. Yep.
Yeah, so that's fascinating too, because a lot of people don't know this. The story of Valentine goes back to Eros, right?
Yep.
And in Greek mythology, Eros is very, very early on in the story, like very early in it. And that's fascinating with the concept of like utilizing Caesar Borgia as the face of this Jesus archetype,
Yep.
the son of the Pope, and how before we had Caesar Borgia's portrait, we had baby Cupid. We literally had Eros, was
Yep.
what we called baby Jesus in the manger, right?
Yep.
So that's really fascinating when you tie that back to like the concept of eroticism and all of that. It's basically just saying what you say all the time, which is like it's just about chasing tail. Like it's the story of man and woman, masculine feminine polarity coming together, and when they get quote unquote married because they get eclipsed, right? The sun eclipses the moon, it forms a ring. That's why you wear the ring for the marriage.
Yep.
And when you get married, that's all just the story of fornication. Yep. So that is a necessary act in order to create people, right? Mother, father, child, the real matrix trinity. And that connection is wild too with this 214, and I didn't even think about that until you brought it up, like you broke it down. That's why I love talking with you, man, because like, and that's why every one of you should like start talking more about this shit with people, because I know it's not so easy to find people that you can talk about this stuff with, but like it's really cool to jam, you know, just to like shoot the shit. And it's like me and you were jamming right now, and I love that, man. It's really
me too.
awesome.
Yeah, me too. If you go to the periodic table, you'll find a huge layer of nugget, because the 2, 4, and 1 is hydrogen, the number for the first element, which is the sun, and then 24 is chromium, and chromium means light, chroma. So you literally, when you take those two together, alchemically, it becomes the sun becoming chromium. Chromium, and if you go look at the icon, it's a skull with wings, literally. So it's light going. So 1, 2, 4, or 2, 4, 1, or whatever. That's hydrogen and chromium, right? Those two, and that just means light. The sun moving through light into matter. You could add carbon onto it and stuff. The periodic table has been such a
Yeah, I always shout you out for that because I never utilized the periodic table until I found your work.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's,
yeah, I never.
That's
I was
definitely like one of those few elements that I actually use all the time. Like it's not just something that I kind of dabble with. Like I actually, and it's unbelievably powerful for what I do with decoding crypto markets. It's super helpful.
Yeah, dude.
Because everything is elemental, you know, technically.
Everything.
Yeah. And a lot of these crypto companies, like they always are naming shit after these elements. So anyways, yeah, shout out to you for that, because it's definitely been a game changer for me.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I mean, even if you take stock market, the word stock market, it's 19 in Chaldean numerology, it's 37. Eye in the sky is 37, and stock market is 19 and 18. And when you convert that to the tarot, it's the sun and the moon card, and that's the pivotal, that's the foundation of your a big foundation of your work is the sun and the moon, the eclipses and all that stuff. And I agree with you. The marriage, you know, you would think that there's a lot of contributions from Saturn with the wedding band, but in palmistry.
But that is it, though. Like, that's the other thing, right? Like, a lot of people need to understand, like, what is Saturn?
Yeah.
None of these things are in isolation, in my opinion. So, like, Saturn is part of the whole. And when we start to isolate it, it's like isolating the body. Like, you don't have your head off of your neck.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I was saying was the ring finger is the sun. In palmistry, the ring finger is your sun finger. And so that's where the wedding band goes on. And that's because you have the sun tied to being marriage. And the marriage, you can just chase that. Mare is another word for horse. And the mare in Chinese is Chinese sign number 7. And if you correlate that to the systems we use, the 7th house of astrology is the house of marriage. right?
Yep.
And the horse sits in the house number 7, and that's Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about humping and making babies, and that's how we all got here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like kings and nobility never wore a ring on the quote unquote ring finger. So if anyone wants to know why you all do that, it's because that's what they do to us. Like we get birth certificates, they don't. We put the ring on the ring finger, they don't.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You want to switch
Like,
it up and you want to switch it up and go to some comments and
yeah,
tap
bro,
into some comments?
Of
All right,
course,
let's see
of
if we
course,
can
I
get
would
some.
love to.
Let's see if we can get some. I'm going to splash some of these up on the screen here.
Yeah.
Let's get a few questions in here.
We might have even got stuff super early on that we just like never.
Yeah, and there's no way that I can scroll up, and we've been going now for an hour and a half. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I can't even scroll up and.
Yeah, I feel you.
Let's see if we can get.
Shout out to Archaics in the chat.
Yeah, is he in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Jason.
I think you were saying yesterday that you wanted to try to reorganize the.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for reminding me that. Yeah, I get asked this. Besides joining with you, I get asked about me,
Same.
you, and him more than anything else, right? And
Same.
and I love the last 2 that we did because it's just so diverse, and we all bring something to the table. And
100%.
There he is. There's Jason popped on the screen. First comment, thanks, Jason. As I unpack, where are you coming from, man? So Jason from Archaics in the house. Go over to give him some love. It's fascinating. Dude, he had, you and him are, as far as like subscribers, you guys are really kind of there with the same numbers. I've been watching Jason since I think he had 1,000 subscribers back in the day.
One thing I'll say
amazing,
about Jason, man. One thing I'll say about Jason that I is much different from me is he puts out a lot of content.
He does.
He's always going live, and like that's awesome, man. Like that's a commitment, and a lot of people don't realize what it takes to do that. A big reason why I've scaled down on my output is because I was building my platform, and it's taken a lot of time and energy, and I have private clients that I work with behind the scenes. I'm spinning a lot of plates, and a lot of people aren't even aware. And it makes making content not the easiest. So whenever I peek in on his channel and I see that he has like 20, 30, 40 new videos, I'm like, damn, that's why his numbers keep going up.
Well, dude, he's
staying consistent.
He's the 8 of diamonds, and in the tarot, it's the 70-second card, and it's a man just at work, constantly at work, yeah. Man, at work, yeah. And that's what he does. And I commend him because it's like it takes a lot to freaking do the shows after shows. And he was on this big podcast run for a long time, which is mind blowing because of how many guests he's brought on. So, yeah. Oh, he just moved.
Well, that's
okay.
That's a byproduct for YouTube. Like if you're anyone here who wants to learn how to, get in the game, like you have to be consistent with all platforms.
Yeah.
You only need a master one, in my opinion. It's YouTube. But if you can just be consistent here on YouTube, start there. You're gonna get an audience. You're gonna reach people. And if you're somebody who's interconnected in our web, like we always show love. So yeah, I think that's important for people. Like a lot of people, they can get a lot of their feelings and energy released. Their mind can unravel here in YouTube. Even just turning on the microphone and having a still image. There's no perfect way to do it. Yeah, and I want more people to explore that because of the way the world is heading, Like there's a lot of people that don't have people to communicate with, and one thing that I'll be open about, like starting this Waters Above channel changed my life because I'm naturally somebody who I don't want to call myself antisocial, but I'm not like going out to parties and like going out to bars and doing all that stuff. So I always loved helping people, and this was an opportunity to be able to do that, and I didn't expect it to end up here. I'm sure you or Jason didn't expect the outcome that you have, but that's the point. Like you don't plan, just do. Yeah. And it could be very therapeutic for people, to be able to have that connection with everyone around the world.
Well, with that in mind, here's a question. Fancy Pants number 9 says, "Is it possible to ruin our destiny?"
Yeah, you should answer that.
Well, no. I mean, the paradox is yeah, but no. So I'm a determinist. So for me, my foundation is you can't change your fate and destiny. So if you ruin it, it was ruined because it was supposed to get ruined. What's your take on it, Jordan?
It's kind of like the question of like, would you want to leave a legacy? It's like both are very heavy ideas that are built in like these out. I'll just say it like because it's my thing that I always say. Fall in love with the process. Like script the outcome, fall in love with the process. So this thing that we call destiny is very much outcome based. It's not that I'm disagreeing of its existence or I'm disagreeing of it as a technology, but I think like what would serve you better, like the utility to provide with this answer is just script the outcome, fall in love with the process, and just be honest with yourself along the way. And then whatever this quote unquote you destined to thing, it will just piece together as it needs to. And by the way, if you get resistance, if you get things that start to feel like traffic cones, you know, like if you end up in cul-de-sacs, then fucking turn around, you know, but keep going. Like you're meant, like the car has a reverse function on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay to use it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it's okay to park the car momentarily, be still momentarily, question, analyze. I always say stalk thyself, you know, like observe where you're at and then turn it to reverse. Pull out of the driveway and then head on the head where there's less friction, you know?
Yep. Well, I mean, since you brought up the car, I mean, it's like you don't drive with your rearview mirror, right? You're looking forward.
Some people do.
Yeah, some people, but I know they do.
That's 99% of humanity is looking backwards. They're talking about their past and they can't let go of it.
Right, but I'm saying, but they're still telling you that looking forward. So they're bringing the rearview mirror into the future. So I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great question, though.
Yeah, it is. It is a good question. All right, let's see if we can get another one here. Dr. Danny in the house. What's up, Danny? So Jason moved. I guess he's Pamela said he moved. He's into it. I wonder where he moved to. Is he still in Jason? You still in Texas or what?
Once a Texan, always a Texan.
Yeah, I know. He can't get the Texan out of the Texan. That's awesome. Let's see. Can we just have comments coming in?
Yep.
I don't see any questions. Oh, here we go. Question from IMS. Have you looked into Darius J. Wright's work? I really like him. His message resonates. Do you know who Darius Wright is, Jordan?
No, I've never heard of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's an out of body experience guy. Yeah, I know. Okay. Jason's talked about him a little bit. I'm not going to speak for him, but I will say that I laughed a little bit when he was talking about him in a fun way, right? Well, I'll just say this really quickly. I don't know anything about out of body experiences, but what I do know is that he has to tell his out of body experiences in this reality. He's got to tell you about what he saw in this reality. Mm-hmm. That's important. So if you want to, I mean, I can do an out of body experience. I can close my eyes and I can tell you what I see. That's an out of body experience, right?
Like dreaming.
Like dreaming or visualizing.
Astral projection.
Yeah.
Sure.
But there's no definitives on proving that there's something outside of this reality. That would be my thing. Not to take away from his work and what he is as a person. He's a very humble, nice, likable guy. So, and he's doing his code, so I could care less. But I don't follow him.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's trying to escape the Matrix, and like I think this Matrix is lit.
Yeah, man.
I think it's fucking awesome.
I think it's awesome too.
Go to Iceland, rent a car and just drive around Iceland. You see these wild horses. They're beautiful. Sheep just everywhere. Mountains, moss, waterfalls. Like this Matrix is lit.
It's lit.
I think people just like they live in hell, you know, like in their mind. Like there's already a war going. World War III has been going on infinitely. It's just in the mind of man.
Yeah. So Jason from Archaic says, I moved 4 miles deeper into the woods He really went out back. He really went to do that Texas stuff. That's awesome. Is it still around the Willis area, Jason? Or I'm not trying to pry or anything like that. I know you don't care. So here's a question. Anthony Duffy, what do you guys think about the data centers popping up? Ooh, this is a good topic to talk about. Ooh, this is a good one. Jordan, I'll let you start because I got my own opinion on it, but go ahead.
Oh, it's a tough one, man, because I actually spent probably the last 10 months alongside creating my new platform. I spent all that time doing my research into like what AI really is, not from like just the base, level that we're all getting a lot of the scare mythology and the stuff that like Dario Amodei is talking about, or any of these technocrats. Like I've been just doing my own research and deep diving and trying to wrap my head around like what is this and what's the future of it all. So of course, obviously as you're doing that research, things like data centers will come up, and there's a lot of concerns, one of which being the increasing rise of energy costs for the people that live locally in
Yep.
those areas. Second, being a lot of quote unquote fresh water use that's insanely problematic. And then we have like a bunch of different psyops regarding like space, where they're like anything tied to Elon. He's talking about like mining Bitcoin in outer space, or, doing stuff with artificial intelligence. The stuff regarding artificial intelligence in outer space. So it's like hard to put a finger on what's the precise prediction I have for this, like what it will turn out to be. But in many ways, like we've gone through industrial revolutions before, right? Like we've gone
Yep.
through big technological disruptive moments. So I don't think this will be a first for us. I think we're reacting to it. Like that particular component is the first. There are firsts though, and I don't think the data centers is one of them. I think like the New World Order has been fucking over Mother Nature since the reset, and they do whatever the hell they want, and we just have to like make a decision. Do we want to be, you know, grumpy about it, or do we want to do something about it? Because if you really want to do something about it, you want to make a change, become insanely fucking wealthy and then buy all the land yourself.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people are gonna like cringe at that, but it's like it's for sale, bro. Like the land is for sale. It's not like you need to be beautiful to buy the land. You don't need to be talented to buy the land. You don't need to have a specific IQ to buy the land. You could actually get loans too. Most people are getting loans to buy stupid shit.
Mm.
So like if you want to be a part of this revolution, I call it the new renaissance, by the way.
Hmm.
Like what I'm calling the new renaissance, like you get your wealth up and then acquire the things that you believe are being taken from us. And that's fair game. And it's not just America that you could do this. So I know that there's stipulations. I know there'll always be like land tax, there'll always be personal property tax and all of that bullshit, but like get over yourself. Like you're still acquiring the land. And it won't be used for data centers if it's your land. And I think a lot of people are not willing to look at it from that perspective, because they rather just pontificate about what the elite will do, and that's not how I roll. But I would love to know your thoughts.
Well, I'm going to bring some theology into this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about the New Jerusalem that the Book of Revelation talks about, and the
Like
size.
eschatology stuff.
What?
I said like eschatological stuff.
Yeah. Because the New
Yeah.
Jerusalem, because just the Rothschilds are tied to Judaism, tied to Moses and Noah and all that stuff. But anyway, there's a possibility that the New Jerusalem that's talked about in the Book of Ezekiel, it gives you measurements of what the new temple is going to be, and it's approximately 1,500 miles in length, width, and height, and that to me sounds a heck of a lot like a data center.
Yeah.
And this, I just came out with a new book on my Cosmic Sugar website. It's called The Electric Lamb. And I talked about, not that, maybe I did talk about that. But the idea was, what was the lamb that's going to illuminate the world? Because in the book of Revelation, it says the sun will not give off any of its own light. The Lamb of God will illuminate. And so the New Jerusalem in the book of Ezekiel, which is, Judaism roots, could be tied to a data center. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I just found this out recently. Sorry, it's taking me a second because I'm trying to pull it up. I actually want to just show you guys because a lot of people might not have heard of this. Let me see if I can pull up my screen.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, it should be up. It's just Google.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you see what's on my screen now?
Yep. Saudi Arabia,
Cool.
the
Cool,
line.
cool, cool. Cool. Yeah. So this project was really fascinating to me, and it was called The Line, and it was
Oh yeah,
insanely
yeah.
it was insanely expensive. There's a
Yep,
really good documentary about it for
yep.
anyone who hasn't watched. But you'll see here in this highlighted section, I'll quickly read it for those who can't see. It says The Line in Saudi Arabia is a massive, highly ambitious linear smart city under construction in this province as part of the country's Vision 2030 initiative. Where have you all heard that before? Sustainable Development Agenda 2030. So what's so unbelievable about this, bro, is they stopped this project and now they've pivoted to making it a data center. If you watch the original, like I believe it was Saudi Arabia, maybe with the help of Qatar and like funding from whatever, but like they put out high level videos of what this project will be. This was insanely expensive. So I don't think they pivoted because it was like a quote unquote bad idea. I think it was always part of the plan to initially lie to the public about what it would be for,
Yep.
to have this end game result anyways. It's like the magician always fucks with you this way. So this line project was always meant to be a data center. Just to look at where it's located, it's insane to have people live in this at the scale and in the capacity and in the lifestyle that they were showing you.
Yep.
Just unbelievable, the build out here, and the whole connection to the 2030 thing is also obvious. But yeah, there's something to this that it's like they are preparing for a world where who knows what the ultimate population goal is, you know? And how do we get there? And it's pretty doom and gloom. And I'm not looking at life as if it's going to be that, but like the more and more stuff like this occurs, it just becomes too obvious that yeah, I don't know if it's sustainable. I think artificial intelligence at where they want to get it with AGI. For anyone who doesn't know, AGI is artificial general intelligence, and they say the time horizon prediction between AGI and like the singularity event, which many argue is already active, could happen in minutes between AGI to that. So that's insane. But just kind of like laying that groundwork, laying that foundation with to say that at what we're currently experiencing with artificial intelligence, it's insanely unsustainable. They just can't. The amount of compute and GPUs and the requirements to make it a little bit better is getting more and more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to get to a place where, of course, it will get more sophisticated and therefore it will require less, but it's still like a catch-up game. And for every new breakthrough, it's so much higher of a cost. So there's a world in which right now where they're gonna have to make a sacrifice in a way to make this AI wet dream come true. And that sacrifice will probably be our economy as we know it.
Well, imagine if, because the main issues with these data centers, like you mentioned earlier, is to power them. You know, the big one, Kevin, what is his name from the Shark Tank, is building in Utah.
Yeah.
It's going to take like 9 gigawatts of power.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Kevin O'Leary.
Fuck that guy. He wears two watches at the same time. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. But
I don't even care if anyone thinks I'm being judgmental.
That's all good. But the way I look at it is, imagine free energy comes out. If you have free energy come out, the whole, well, how are we gonna power these things? It becomes irrelevant. And free energy already exists. It's just being suppressed.
Sure.
So if they bring it out, then it won't be an issue on powering the data centers. Now, the water, on the other hand, to cool things down, that's a different story. But there's plenty of water in the world. So I don't think there's a shortage of water in the world, because you have all the oceans, which cover 71% of the real estate of Earth. So I don't think that'd be an issue. I just think that with the Aquarian age coming out and it's starting to just progress even more, and what you mentioned, the AGI, I mean, the singularity, imagine that is another moment of the Big Bang. where the moment of singularity is another reenactment of the Big Bang. The idea of the Big Bang, boom, everything comes out, and now the existent and the Big Bang through AGI is the metaverse gets created. So literally, mankind is being used to create the singularity position of the AGI.
Yeah.
So I don't.
It's really funny that metaverse actually shut down. It's in the process of shutting down. $80 billion investment gone to nothing.
Really, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, Metaverse shut down. They already closed down like one of their like primary virtual wherever areas, and it's set for June. I think it's like June 15th or July 15th, something around that time is when it will be 100% shut down.
Oh, well, shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Gone. $80 billion
but there's
down the toilet.
There's got to be something to.
Well, it's kind of like a tabletop exercise, is what I think. And to this guy or to these people, these lizard, I don't know, jackals, are they human? Anyways, to these entities, they don't give a fuck about money because they print it, right? They just print it, so it's not like a loss. But still, it was an amazing amount of money that they put into this thing that was an epic failure. I think first what they need, and this is just me riffing, you know, being like just kind of sharing my thoughts. I think what they need is the glasses to be almost one-to-one with the current glasses that we wear, whether that be like reading glasses or sunglasses. If they can get those to like where every single human is wearing, I think Ray-Ban already has these,
they do,
right? And like I saw Zuckerberg give a tutorial where he's like tapping on his thigh or waist, or there's some tap technology. It's like haptic or something. If they get to that point, I think they need to accomplish that first, for it to be insanely cheap to the point where children who like have who allegedly can't have like reading or you know, whatever bullshit. Because I don't even think people need glasses. Okay, like you should exercise your eyes. But that's going down another rabbit hole. But they're going to give children these glasses that have AI built into them. And when we go there and it's like cheap and insurance covers it, and everyone is wearing sunglasses with AI, and everyone is wearing regular glasses with AI, everyone already has the Apple Watches. It's the highest selling watch ever in the history of horology. Think about that. There's more Apple Watches sold in history than every single watch company prior to the invention of the Apple Watch.
Oh, yeah,
that is fucking mind-blowing.
It runs alongside the cell phones. Dude,
but that's even crazier, right? Why do you need one if you also have a cell phone?
Well, because people are satisfied.
Yeah, but it's part of the getting to this glasses thing that I'm explaining. So when we have the glasses, then I think we're primed for like a metaverse world. So I don't think metaverse was too early, that's for sure. But it's not a failure because it was a tabletop exercise. Right. And that's all that matters. They're collecting data, and that's the whole purpose of WhatsApp and all of these Facebook / Meta companies. Is it's just an experiment.
Sure. Yeah. Well, irregardless of that, I mean, you know, then you have this theory of, which is kind of fascinating. You get into which I decoded, the movie Logan's Run. Which is a movie from 1973 about escaping the smart cities, basically. And so there's these theories about people talking about this, you know, having these pockets of communities outside of the smart cities in different areas, which will be protected. I don't know about that, but not partaking in the smart cities, you know. So
do you expect something like a 15-minute smart city soon?
Well, they're already.
Yeah, but like, do you expect them to be like the way that they're like Agenda 2030 style, where it's like you can't leave the zone or whatever because you're on like a UBI system that, like, do you think it'll be that draconian soon? Or
I mean, in a way, part of me, yeah, because you know, they're
also, if this is super depressing, we don't have to talk about it.
Well, no, it's realism, dude. I mean, it's a part of reality.
I don't want to kill people's vibe. I felt like we were vibing for a second.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
because I could be emotionless about this.
Like, I'm totally emotionless about it. You know, like
cool.
Listen, I'll say this, right? The less you pay attention to the mainstream, the more you're going to pay attention to your reality. And if you're going to pay more attention to your reality, you have the ability to create. A lot of you don't
Yeah.
create because you're in fight or flight of what they're going to do. So you just are so fixated on trying to figure out what they're trying to do that you spend all this time trying to figure out what they're trying to do, and you spend less
That's
time on
right.
doing what you need to do. So the whole
Right.
message here for me to all of you specifically is stop paying attention to them and what they're doing and these agendas and all that stuff. That they're going to do that irregardless because that's what they're scripted to do. But you should be taking the time to put into what you want to do. I mean, that's ultimately why we created our course. It's why Jordan created his course. Because if we spent all our times focusing on the mainstream, I never would have put out Spotlight. So I'd be too paying attention to them. And I used to.
Right.
I used to be a big. I used to have a subscription to the Boston Red Sox. I would do real estate. I would, I'd have my foot in that fire, and real estate. I'd have my sports, and I was heavy into all that, all the distractions, dude. It is incomprehensible now that if you open your phone and you pop open YouTube, which is what we're using right here. Big shout out to YouTube. I'm super grateful that we're able to use this platform.
Same.
It's a tool to use, and I'm glad they let me use it. But if you go on YouTube and you click on the home button, you will be inundated with a million quadrillion distractions. Everybody and their mother's trying to sell you something. Everybody and their mother wants to talk about what they think is happening. You'll see all this. People use these keywords. Oh, the truth, the secret behind, and we all do it, right? But how is your secret different than mine? How come you got the truth and I don't? Like, how do you have it all figured out? Oh, and all this stuff's coming out, and then dude, it's just a plethora of distractions, and it will just chew you up and spit you out. It will, and that a lot of people that's what they're addicted to. They're addicted. They don't even know they're addicted to it. They're addicted to it, and one of the reasons why society's getting obese, because of these addictions of the mental. It's not so much the physical now, even though the physical comes, but it's a lack of exercise because you're just, I'll just stay home and watch, or I'll just watch YouTube. And I hear these people, I don't have a TV, I don't own a TV. Yeah, but you have YouTube in your phone.
Yeah.
So like, why
People
would you
spend way more time on their computer than they used to when they owned a TV.
For sure. And hey, listen, it's my life,
More
dude.
convenient.
Yeah, it's my life. I'm a fan of technology. So I'm kind of torn because it's like, if this scenario of these smart cities come out and then there's these pockets of people getting out of the smart cities and be like, I'm kind of torn because I like my technology. My whole career now is based on Photoshop, Illustrator. These are all technology based. Dude, I don't know if you know, but I have two bands. I have two AI bands now on YouTube. I make music with Suno, right? And so it's become an outlet for me because I'm a lyricist, man. I'm a poet. So all my music I get to write it, and I get to have, and it's all about the prompts with Suno. So it is a talent, but it's not like playing an instrument. But anyway, I like my artificial intelligence. I like it. But then I watch these videos like Roman, I can't remember his last name, the Russian guy. Do you know who he is? Roman something. He's a big he's a big AI security guy.
Yeah, I think I saw like
Yamanowski or something. Yeah, he's a king of clubs. So he's got the mastermind card. Super, super, super intelligent. But he's all about, like what if, what could be. And he even says we're in a simulation, we're in a movie. He even says it. But part of me, I don't want to pay attention to those distractions because it just deters me away from what I want to create to help people. Because there's that chance of us having this bifurcation and moving into a different, people talk about this 5D Earth. There's a chance that we've already moved into it and life will just get better. And those that are messing up the world will just be brought to justice, and you'll see them get arrested, and you'll see there's a chance that may happen because we move into perhaps the springtime of Aquarius, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And the rise of the machines is when you get into the fall and winter. So AI more than likely will probably move into that position of Skynet and Terminator. It probably will. But the beginning of it will be spring and summer, and it will be a lot of fun. People will have what they want. You'll have the first trillionaires through Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. That's a possibility. Mm-hmm. What do you see on that front?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's this dual kind of like, it's very much dualistic where it's either the end or it's the beginning of this fucking utopia, But what I don't like about this, like, extreme is that it's the same person telling me both things, So it's either Sam Altman or it's Dario Amodei. Like they're the same people that on one hand they're like there's a 40% chance that humanity gets wiped out, civilization gets wiped out. And then there's the like there's this other like percentage whatever. It's I don't think it's 40%, but they are calling it this world of abundance and nobody needs to work anymore. Like Elon made this statement that you can choose to work.
Mm.
Michael Saylor, another billionaire, he's a Bitcoin guy. He says that you don't want to earn money by being talented or smart, essentially. Like you don't want to earn money by having a talent.
Mm.
And I just think that's fucking nonsense.
Mm.
I think like all you're here to do is acquire skills. You're not here to die. You're not here to get married. You're not here to have children. You're here to develop skills. Can one of the skills be being a leader? Therefore, you're a good mother? Yes. That's a great. I said this a couple days ago and it blew somebody's mind. They were like, a mother was like, or I don't even want to call her a mother. A woman was saying that, like, yeah, well, not all women want to be leaders. And I'm like, well, I don't think you should put yourself in the role of a mother unless you're ready to be a leader.
Oh.
And it blew her fucking mind. And I get why it blew her mind because nobody said that. Like, I'm not trying to say I created something unique. I just thought for a second and paused and didn't like regurgitate some nonsense that I heard before. You know? So like if you want to be a parent, you have to be a fucking leader.
Totally.
What is your role? You literally must lead your child.
Yep.
And why is that so bad? Like, why is that so scary or weird? Like, I don't know. So people, like, especially women, and I love women. Women are very much attracted to my work, and I love to be able to help them as much as I can. But like this whole femininity push of like, don't be a leader, don't embrace, and I'm like, stop that mess. Like, all of us must embody leadership because there's something here that we're here to lead. Perhaps many humans will be here to lead AI. Good fucking luck with that. But if that's what you're into, then go for it. You know, I'm not here to use my judgment. If you can use AI as an instrument to lead people, then that's awesome. You
Mm.
know, that's you're just using the tool then. That's great. But getting back to the answer, it's like it's very difficult to determine if it becomes hell or if it becomes this like if it becomes a dystopian hellscape or if it becomes this euphoric, you know, amazing, everybody's a trillionaire thing. I just don't think like if you gave me two options, and this might sound controversial, and I would love to talk with you more about this. If you gave me two options and you said you get hell or you get abundance and everyone is wealthy, I say give me hell.
Mm.
Give me, I love hell. You know what hell is? Hell is opportunity.
Mm.
Heaven is boredom.
Well,
Think
it
with me,
depends on.
guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a flip side to that though, because if you gave me all the
There's
money,
only
if
there's only one time where heaven is not boredom. It's during release. Either that be because you have to pee or because you are having an orgasm. That's the only time heaven is not boredom. Heaven is boredom.
well, I mean,
Hell
heaven.
is opportunity.
Yeah, I see you're creating a massive contrast, so I can see why you would say that. It has a lot of merit. I think that you're spot on in some ways, but I also think that if you're given heaven, you can continue to keep heaven, going in a sense.
Everyone who reaches for heaven, their wings burn and they fall straight on their face.
Yeah, well,
Look at religion. Look at the entire human existence. It's based around this idea of going to heaven. That's why it doesn't work. But everyone who's actually successful or like makes change and is a revolutionary, somebody who's a sacrifice to this earth to make it better, they get to feel and operate in hell because no one else wants to. That's why they're so awesome. That's why they make such dope music. That's why they make such amazing art. Like it's because, for example, all of your trials and tribulations, they make you have like a patina. You have like a texture to you. That's real. People resonate with that.
mm-hmm.
If you were just some trust fund baby that was fed, all this money and you wore a fucking sweater vest or whatever, no, you wouldn't be inspiring to anybody.
True.
You're inspiring because you have these experiences, you have these trials and tribulations. Look at music. It's the same. We all love this breakup story or the story about a girl that you loved or but she didn't want you or the person that died that meant the most to you. It's tragedy. It's despair. It's that pain is the most beautiful part of life and somehow humans avoid it or we're like allergic to it. But that I'm calling that hell. It's the most beautiful part of life. We just have it all mixed up because we want things to be our way. Which is heaven. Heaven is control. Heaven is it goes my way. Heaven is I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's the paradox. So great points, and I think that there's 100% accuracy there to what you're saying. But ultimately, you don't wake up and look for drama in your life. You know, like when you wake
Every
up,
day, every day I wake up, I look for a bigger problem to solve.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying is that when you still that's being constructive, and when you solve the problem, what do you create? Heaven. So you literally work in hell to create heaven, which is the paradox and the contrast between the black and the white, the heaven and hell. So yeah, this is why I people say, are you in hell? You're in it, man. You're trying to make heaven out of it. Trying to turn a place that's drama based and disgruntled into peaceful solidarity in a way.
Yeah, my thing that I'm revealing is that the thing we call heaven is actually the thing that would be the most boring for us.
Oh,
Like I'm just trying
absolutely.
I think what people call heaven is what is actually purgatory.
Okay.
I'm just sharing my philosophy
Hey
of
man, it's all.
what I've experienced throughout observing man.
Uh-huh.
It's the thing that we call heaven is actually the state of purgatory. It's the boredom. It's the I made it. And like hell is where there's looking over at the next mountain to climb. Yes, it's all those calories burned to get to the top. You're huffing and puffing. You might literally die.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
And it's the fucking greatest moment of your life.
Yep.
Feelings, see, if anyone here has never been depressed, which maybe all of you have, I don't know. Depression, let's summarize it as just being numb. Okay? Somebody who's numb will do anything to feel. They even self-harm. You see my point about heaven, like how it's coming together more and more?
Hmm.
I could keep going. This is like my shit.
I do.
This is my favorite thing to talk about,
Yeah,
actually.
it's a complete paradox though, Jordan, because if you could get into a relationship, right? And you could guarantee that you wouldn't have any arguments in the relationship, every single person would choose that. Because no one is a fan of arguing. I'm not a fan of it. You're not a fan of it. You know? Like going through life without any arguments in a relationship is a beneficial thing because you can now create from a space of non-static and dissonance.
But that's like saying that the distortion in the Metallica song you like is not beautiful. It's like you like metal. Why? Because you like distortion.
Of course.
And
Of course.
isn't that the so okay?
But I listen to the
like,
distortion when my headphones are on and I'm in bliss. So so
no,
it becomes
man.
a paradox,
Like
man.
the thing that yeah, I get it. I get we're utilizing the word paradox here, but like my point is like the reason why me and you could never argue is because like I want to dance and sometimes you step on feet
Yeah.
and like that's cool. Like all of the new dance styles were the byproduct of stepping on someone's feet
Sure.
or hurting your own feet.
Sure.
So it's like that's hell. Like hell is the bruises, but like that's actually what made the change. Like if you work out, you can't grow more muscle without tearing it.
Right.
So it feels like fucking hell when you're sore, but that's what leads you to heaven or whatever.
Yeah. So it
My
becomes
point is
a
that
paradox, man. It's a complete paradox.
sure. It's kind of like what I always talk about, like the idea that like intuition is the portal to like our healing our ego is the portal to intuition, and a lot of people hate the word ego. Just like a lot of people have this disdain for the concept of hell, and I'm just trying to like explore something that might like callous us a little bit so that we're ready for the long fight. Because a lot of people are too soft, I think. We're too like overprotected. We want and I think AI is going to exacerbate this even more.
Uh-huh.
Because with AI, for example, I'll give a quick story that you might resonate with. You talked about having a band with the AI stuff, and like, have you been in a band before, like with other people?
Just around the band, never been in a band
Okay,
playing.
okay, okay. So like I remember what it was like being in a band, and like one of the things that if somebody asked me what's it like to be in a band, I would say that being in a band is like texting five people or making phone calls to five people to try to organize all of us to be in the same room at the same time.
Uh,
That's what being in a band is. It's not playing music.
mm.
It's that you have to all get together. It's like dating five, four, three, seven people, however many.
Yep.
And you have to organize it all to be in the same room. And then what you do, your part in it needs to be, you have to respect the other people too. You
Mm.
can't show up drunk. You can't. So when we use AI, for example, like we're talking a different language here, right? And that's fine. I'm not taking anything away from anyone, but like being in a band is hell. It's so fucking hard, man, to make money with music. And now I see people that can use AI and they're pumping out all this music and they're becoming very, very wealthy very quick because of the Aquarian economy. I'm not mad. They just cracked the code. That's
I
good
haven't
for
seen
them.
any. I haven't seen any. There's people making tons of money off
Oh
of
my
it.
God, dude, on Spotify, it's fucking unbelievable.
Oh,
Look at
really?
Look at Rick Beato's channel. He talks about it all the time.
Oh,
He's a
I didn't
legend.
know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
ignorant in
This
that
is
area.
something. Yeah, you should look into it, especially if you're like if you're making art
I
AI
am.
music.
I got two
So
bands.
sure, sure, yeah, but like so my thing is like I remember what it was like to be in a band and I had to like reschedule things all the time. I had to like not hang out with my girlfriend. I had to like fucking get paid $20 for the show. Like it sucked. It fucking sucked. But like watching someone in the crowd sing the lyrics as I performed the song would make you cry.
Yep.
It's fucking amazing. And like we will be missing that whole piece in our new world. You know, we don't get that, unfortunately.
Well, I think
And
that.
it sorry, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Continue.
Finish. I want you to finish.
No, no, I was just gonna say that like that's why I want to talk a little bit more harsh, like with the hell heaven concept, because it's like it means a lot to me that we have some process here where it has that that pain, you know, like it sucked to get rejected trying to book a tour. It sucked when like you made a cool guitar part and your bandmate was like, that fucking sucks, bro. That rejection, it sucks when you show a crowd a new song and they don't like it.
Yep.
It sucks when your least favorite, you know, this happens all the time to bands where they have to play the same song every show because it's the favorite, but it's like about the guy's ex from 20 years ago. He doesn't even fucking care about this girl anymore.
Yeah.
And they have to keep playing it and it sucks. So like my thing that I'm revealing here is like that's what being in a band is. That comes with a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of shit that isn't so awesome. And with AI, we don't have that. We just get to, it's like having this opinion that getting in an argument sucks with your girlfriend. So then everyone just gets an AI girlfriend, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, this goes in line with the Aquarian Age because the Aquarian Age, moving into that perfected society, you know, no
Yeah.
crimes, all this prevention, perfection, being able to create what you look like from a artificial lens, being able to look perfect. I mean, first it was the camera apps that you could put on yourself to remove the wrinkles, to give your enhancements. And
Yeah.
now it's just going to merge into where you can instantly snap your fingers and become whatever you want. So yeah, the music during the Piscean Age and what was created obviously was more blood, sweat, and tears. The touring, I never did any of that, but I've watched enough. I've been around it
Yeah.
enough to know. And what went into songwriting, what went into, you know, composing.
Yeah.
Because now you're getting the instant gratification that comes with the age of Aquarius, and that's why this AI music is here. You know, which I'm embracing because again, I always wanted to be in a band. It was like a thing for
Really?
me. Yeah, dude. Ever since I got
Okay.
into smoking pot, and I got
Yeah.
into music, and my buddy
That's how
introduced me
it
to
goes.
Metallica and Black Sabbath and all the heavy metal that I love, I just started playing the air guitar. That was my thing, and I was like, I can strum. I know how to strum that. So I was like, okay, and then it led me into playing guitar, and I picked up the acoustic, and I have an acoustic. I don't play it really all that much. I can get on a piano and I can make music on the piano. Never took any lessons. I'm just kind of musically inclined. So for me, it was like, okay, I can't tour in a band. But now I can create one. I can scratch that itch now, and that's important to me now, because I've got two bands, and now I can create when I feel like being creative. And now it's not in the matter of like trying to sit down with 4 or 5 different people and having a clash on which way you want the guitar solo to go. Now it's a matter of battling with AI to get it prompted the right way. So I can tell you from experience with the AI stuff, sometimes it takes 30, 40, 50 different renderings to get a song to come out decent.
Yep.
Because it's still got the bugs in it, and you're battling with trying to figure out the prompts instead of trying to figure out how we get along to create the composition to the music. You know, writing the lyrics, that's easy. I'm a lyricist, so all my songs, I write all my songs.
Well, isn't it funny that the writing the lyrics is the only part that
yeah, it is.
you're actually doing?
It's really the only part. Well, actually, you know what's really cool about Suno is you can, there's a bug in it right now, but I've created music on GarageBand. I have songs created on GarageBand, right? Which is kind of partly Piscean, partly Aquarian, because you're using all digitization. But you can take a song that you've created in GarageBand or Ableton or something, and you can import it into Suno.
Yeah,
and
which is what most people are doing. They're putting like a Drake song into AI and being like, redo it for me.
Yeah,
like
that's not totally. But I'm saying you can do your own creations, and you can have Suno kind of create around that. Right now there's a bug in it and you can't do it. For the past 3 days, you haven't been able to do that. I just got into that part, which is really cool because I have some original tracks that I've created, you know, digitized tracks from GarageBand.
That's awesome.
It's fun, awesome, man.
Like,
it's fun.
There's so many creative avenues, like, for sure. The one thing though that like everyone here should be aware of is like Logan has this process in so many different aspects of his decoding that like he gets to express and explore and develop and acquire more skills in that field. So he's not just like solely using only AI. And I think that's important to delineate because a lot of people in our world are like, I will just skip all things and go straight to making AI stuff. And I think that's insanely harmful for humanity.
Well, it's, yeah, totally. But it is thank you for the compliments, by the way. But, you know, one of the reasons why I got into the AI music is because I used a lot of copyrighted music for my podcast and stuff like that. And which I don't monetize my channel. So if you ever see a commercial on this channel, it's because somebody is using it based upon the music that I used. So me using AI music now has alleviated the burden of using copyrighted music now, which is kind of a blessing for me, right?
Sure.
But it's painstaking to make a song. I think there's a lot of music that's coming out that's complete garbage because AI is limited. So it's really hard to make a really good track that sounds really good with AI. I still think it's challenging. It's very difficult.
I feel the same thing about everything. The videos that it produces, the newsletters I see it produce.
Even the graphics.
Yeah, I write a newsletter now, which I never used to do, but it's like been an inclusion in my Patreon membership. And like I have attempted to utilize AI and it's just horrible. Like it sucks at writing and I have so much experience writing. Like I'm an amazing writer and I'm confident in saying that. So like here's the thing where I think it's important to talk about. If you're somebody who knows how to do a thing, when you then are utilizing AI or subject to AI, you know what it is. Yep. Like I know when I'm reading AI, I know when I'm listening to AI music, I know when I'm looking at AI photography, and like a lot of the selling point right now is like, look at it getting better, look at it getting better, look at it. But what's also happening is as that curve goes up of it, AI quote unquote getting better, humanity is becoming substantially less talented and skillful at stuff. So that's the bifurcation apocalypse, actually. Truly. And I think everyone here could agree with at least one thing. It's not AI related, but we could all agree with make humanity orchestrated in a way where none of them know how to grow or produce their own food. Well, isn't that our world now? Now you take away all their guns. Now you take what you see, and it just it's the totalitarian tiptoe, as David Icke says. But the most important plan for the New World Order is not to kill you. It's to make you fucking skillless. You hear me, everybody? It's not to kill you. It's not to give you cancer. It's not to keep you scrolling and gooning and watching porn all day. It's to make you skillless. And by doing all the things I just listed, well, that's how they accomplish it easily. And then all the while you're pointing at the billionaires getting mad at them. But like really, like it's at every minute of every day is available to you to develop a skill.
Yep.
Hopefully, like what you're listening to right now is like sharpening your blade. Like I hope that. That's how I feel every time I listen to Logan.
Well,
But
likewise,
after
same
you're
with
done
you.
listening here, you have to go swing the sword.
Yeah.
You have to go swing the scythe. You have to harvest, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that's definitely so magnificent, Jordan, on that. I look at the Piscean age, which I got this from you, but you had mentioned many times over the course of the years where, the Piscean age was the age of the printing press and the age of books and libraries. And so we've kind of, we've obviously highlighted that and expanded upon
Paper
that.
privilege.
Paper. Yeah. So border books and, and libraries and stuff like that. So the Aquarian age, it removes the libraries and border books by creating Kindles and digitization. And there's no more cassette tapes coming back, and there's no more 8-track players coming back, and there's no more ColecoVision and Atari. Those have been replaced by Sony PlayStation. And so the operating system keeps moving towards this Aquarian agenda, which, again, the music, unless Suno and the AI gets completely uplifted and removed, which I can't see it happening, because that's like saying that Photoshop's going to be removed and you're going to have to go back to drawing with a pen and a piece of paper. I just don't see that happening. So artistry goes from the paintbrush to the mouse. Music goes from the instrument to the MP3 and the digitization of that. And I think that once we get heavily involved into the Aquarian age, whatever that's going to really look like, then everything from the Piscean age just kind of fizzles out and it becomes the norm. And I think, I had said this, and I'll say this very confidently. I think that the future of music is where someone produces a track through AI, and then there are band members that form to go play the music live. That's what I think would be really cool.
That's kind of like what my project is right now. Like I designed and created an idea, but I don't know how to code.
Uh-huh.
So I have somebody or a team of people help me take that vision and bring it to life.
Yep.
But I didn't use AI. But I get your point, and I
Yeah.
agree. I think that's a lot of music, by the way. Like, I know you probably know this, but like a lot of music, especially in the hit singles, like the popular top 50 shit, it's ghost writers. They hire a whole team of people that you'll never ever hear of. Even the greats like Michael Jackson and stuff that were like known for their quote unquote talent in the studio.
They didn't write it in their shit.
They had a ton of writers in the room.
Of course.
So it's no shade on Michael Jackson or anything, but the point that I'm getting to is like you're already in that world has been around for a while because it just comes with having more resources.
Yep.
So I think AI, it's the same with the tokens that people need to buy and just the memberships and all of that. Like one thing that would definitely worry me is if AI memberships keep going up in price, which there's definitely a plan to. People are just going to pour all their money into that, and they're not going to invest in themselves. And I don't think investing in AI is investing in yourself. Zero. I don't believe that at all. Like one of the best things somebody could do if they wanted to learn how to cook is not watch YouTube videos of cooking. It would go find a cuisine you really love, go to the restaurant that makes that cuisine and tell them you will intern there you will do whatever they ask you to do for free for the next 8 hours. And they will be like, yes.
That's a great idea.
It might be illegal in some places, but my point that I'm getting to is like if you have spare time and you want to learn some shit, you just go straight to the person that does it. I'm not telling you to join my university or buy, none of that. Like I'm saying just straight up, like if you want to learn how to farm, if you want to learn how to play guitar, like whatever, you could actually learn so much in this world by just getting off of your fucking couch and going to places that do the thing.
Yep. Well, that's going to be
that's
going to be the niche, right? The niche
100%.
the niches now are really bands that play live. That's the niche now. The new niche is like
I'm so excited for that.
Me too.
I'm so stoked
because it creates pockets of the Piscean age is never, as long as there's humans here. Piscean age, the age of Aries, we're still seeing wars. That's the age of Aries. Taurus, we're still seeing these layers of astrology in the age of, if we are in Aquarius now, we're still seeing it. So we're never going to lose the Piscean energy. It's going from religion. It's Jesus saying, "Follow me into the house with a man bearing a pitcher of water." So you already have theology crossing over into the age of Aquarius, and you have the technology and the operating systems keep, moving towards that. But I still think people are going to play live. There's this something special about. I mean, I love live music. Even
Same.
like I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan. Huge. I love stand-up
Same.
comedy, and it's not as funny when you watch it on the television. It's you just laugh your ass off when you go live. It's just there's something about it because it's contagious, the energy, the vibration, the frequency. So there's something about, and that niche is going to last, and that is what's going to bring value to the world. So I'm like you. I don't buy into this. All these jobs are going to get removed, and I think there's going to be a lot of jobs that will get removed. I really, really do. But people will become creative, and they'll be able
100%.
to. Yeah.
Just like our job, like if we wanted to call what we do a job, like our job didn't exist 20 years ago.
Right.
We would have had to be like some like OG
Radio guy, yeah.
Like, and we're earning dick. Like there's zero money in that shit.
Yeah, like a DJ on a radio station.
Yeah, yeah. So like the thing is that like to make a living, that will always be an evolutionary process.
Yeah.
Like it's been for the past century. And I think C19 event was a big change as well. So it's not like there's just a disruption in the job market locally, like this has been pretty much a huge awakening of like, I remember back in the day, like you ordered a pizza, it came from the restaurant delivered by somebody who worked at the restaurant, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's Uber Eats or whatever. Like it's just some random guy that his whole reality is, or not. I don't mean to say that in an offensive way. It's somebody that is not working at the restaurant that has now got a new job opportunity, a new way to earn money where they can just dedicate their entire day to delivering every restaurant's food to everybody,
Yep.
That comes from a phone app technology. That's
Yep.
unbelievable,
It is.
So like now all the quote unquote delivery drivers lost their job, like, but then they had to pivot and they just became Uber drivers. It's the same thing with cabs. Like I talked to this one guy. I don't know if you know anything about black cabs in the UK. Do you know
No,
about this?
no, I don't.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. These black cab drivers, they're like premium drivers effectively, and they go through this test. I forgot the name of it. It's unbelievable, bro. Like they need to learn every single turn, every street, everything by heart, like off of memory.
Huh.
And they go through this insanely arduous test. And like they used to work at that for years before they were even allowed to drive the black cab. So like you had to be incredible at your job, bro. It's like nowadays anyone could just download the Uber app, quickly apply, quickly get the job, and then immediately be on it, driving people around. Like that is so frictionless, and it's a huge spit in the face to all the specialists, like the people who went through this test to memorize everything. And by the way, everyone here should know that like if you don't utilize pattern recognition at all, it shrinks your hippocampus, and that will lead to basically your brain rotting. So when you combine that along with the fact that everyone's just doom scrolling, it's like a decay of the mind effectively. And it's like a muscle that needs to be exercised.
Doom
So
scrolling.
anyways, these black cab drivers, I learned about their story, and what it did for me is it increased my respect for them tenfold. Like I'm like looking up to these guys like they're like professional athletes, dude. They're literally professionals in their game. They are the legends of their sport, and we don't give a shit about them. It's so heartbreaking because now it's the convenience of I just want a quick ride. I download Uber or Lyft, and I'm just picked up immediately, and everyone loves that. And I think the one move that the apex predator will probably do very soon is all airports will ban taxi drivers or Ubers, and they will have their own fleet of autonomous robo taxis.
Johnny Taxi.
When that world surfaces, good luck to gig jobs because every gig job will be gone. So the people that used the Uber or Lyft type situation as their plan B for not like for losing or getting laid off their past career path, it's not really a long-term plan B. you know? So like again, this is coming back to like people need to invest in themselves. They need to invest in acquiring skills, and it's not even considered a skill anymore to be a taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to have Google Maps downloaded on your fucking phone.
Yep.
That's it. And now you're a taxi driver. So that again is very much the way that we're heading. We're like skillless people, no offense, because driving is a skill, but it's like they've made it very easy for us with automatic transmissions and all the traffic lights and the phone that connects with Bluetooth to tell you where to turn. It's very easy, right?
Well, it's all
It's
Aquarian, man. Because I mean, back in the day, you had to have a random map.
yeah, yeah. So the point that I'm getting to is like as it's become easier by default, it's less of a skill.
Sure.
So as something becomes easier to do, and therefore the convenience of the thing in and of itself has expanded as well, that's really what I put most of my energy into because like I want to help people. Like I'm here to serve the people. I know that. Whether I try to avoid that or not, like I just fucking love helping people. So like when I see these things and I have the ability to kind of like map it all out and look straight through it without the what do they call them? Rosy glasses or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that is where I'm like, ooh, I think too many people are optimistic, but also too many people are in a position where they are relying on the system. They're relying on the current job they have. So it puts this pressure on people. And I think you made an awesome statement before about that kind of like overarching concept of it's super difficult to make changes or to do things when you're just inundated with fear. You were talking about this with the watching all the doom stuff or the hearing about the New World Order and the conspiracy theories, etc.
Well, I mean, how could it? Yeah, I mean, how could it not be really? There's the majority of people on the world stage today are waiting for them to make their move. So they're sitting in limbo, and they wait, and they wait, and they wait. And then when they make their move, then they make their move. But it's calculated and based upon what their move is. So essentially, and that's the way it's scripted for them. But if you didn't get that code and you're looking at your life and you've turned off what they're doing, you now have the ability to. So again, if somebody were to, I'm a life strategist as well. Like kind of like people say life coach. I used to be a life strategist, and it's all about how to make you a better person, right? So this has been our tagline. Cosmic Sugar, become a better you, all this stuff. It's kind of still embedded in what I'm doing. And if I could come to anybody's house and I know I'm confident that I can make you a better person. I have, health and wellness has been in my back pocket for the longest time. I know how to eat healthy. I know how to become a healthy lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. But it's not just the physical, it's also the mental. So I can come into your house and I can look, I'd start like, let's look at your YouTube. Let's see what you're watching. And then let's figure out how many hours you spend a week on the distractions in your life. And when you tally up all those hours, if you took those away, if I removed them from you, because as a life strategist, it's like a personal trainer. Well, you got to change the way you're eating. You got to start exercising. So some things have to change. Same thing as a strategist. If I'm going to look at your life, I'm going to tell you, okay, you're spending 50 hours a week on social media. Like if you take those 50 hours and you remove them from social media and you put them into something else, like maybe, you always wanted to be a cook. Like you said, go be an intern at a restaurant. Like somebody's going to take you. That would make you more of a valuable person. But a lot of you listening to this podcast right now are making yourself less valuable because number one, you pay too much attention to the mainstream and you're letting them dictate based upon what move they're going to make. You're completely in a fight or flight position. And you're being distracted by all of this, these social media platforms, and so this is what you need to do personally for yourself. You don't need to hire a life coach or a life strategist. You just need to observe your life. And it's kind of like, like when I used to work with people with nutrition, the very first thing I'm going to ask you is write down everything you eat and drink for the next 2 weeks. I don't want to talk to you until I get that list from you. And be honest. Don't just skip because you think you're trying to impress me. If you try to skip and be dishonest, I can't help you. And so if you write down everything you eat and drink for 14 days, I'm going to be able to go back and look and see that I have a creature of habit and I already know what you're doing right or wrong based upon what goes in the body and what comes out of the body. Really, really simple. And then we can get into other things. How's your digestion? When's the last time you cleaned out your digestion? When's the last time you did this? And so it's a matter of recognition, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what makes, you a good strategist. So I would encourage all of you to do that on your own. How many hours are you spending on these distractions, and what could you take? What can you move away from to then go and create in an economy where, yeah, there are things that are uncertain, but you know what? You're not going to die unless you really die. You have to wake up tomorrow. So you might as well study what you're supposed to do and squeeze every drop you can out of life after you know what that is. And that's why, like Jordan, I value your information. Jason from Archaics, I value what he's doing because he bridges the gap with history. And so he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. And all the other people that are influencers out there that actually truly care about you as a person, right? Because I know you do. I truly care about the listeners right here and right now. I really want you to have the best life possible. And the reason for that is because if I ever get to hang out with you, I don't want to be hanging out with some disgruntled, piss off, angry person. No, I want to hang out with you and your frequency is high, you're smiling, you're laughing, despite what's going on in the world today. Because in the world today, it can get really messy and nasty if you start looking at it under a microscope,
Right. And it's very difficult to strategize, like when you're in that mode, when you're like anchored down.
Yeah.
And I've been there.
Me too.
I'll admit, I've been there so many times.
Me too.
I've been there doing things I love. I've been there with music. That sucked. And it's like you do the thing that you're super excited about and it's not working. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So that's like the beauty of life is like it has all this texture. It has all this like tests, like that's how I look at everything now. I think everything's just an opportunity.
For sure. So I don't know.
Even doom scrolling and watching bullshit all day. It's like it's an opportunity if you can realize it and be, conscious of it. Like I think that's where it starts. It's like listening to what Logan just said, and instead of getting mad and reactive, it's like being real with yourself and being like, oh yeah, I do that a lot. Start there. Laugh about it. Be like, it's bullshit what I'm doing, and now that I know, like I know what I should replace it with.
Yep. I like, I'm a huge Alan Watts fan and the British philosopher. And I like the simplicity of him. If money was no object, what would you do? And I think that's timeless. I think if money was no object, what would you want to do with your life? And it's not sipping pina coladas on the beach. That's not what this exercise is about. It's truly what you really want to do in your heart. And then visualize what it would look like at its pinnacle. When you're at the top of your game, what would that look like? And visualize. There is power in the visualization. Despite what's going on in the world today, you can definitely take into consideration what people are saying and economists are saying about, jobs may disappear and this and that. And so you have to pivot and you have to look at your chart and you need to, because that's the base fundamental is your owner's manual. You look at your owner's manual. That's why we created Spotlight. And it's for the kids, man. I mean, basically, because that's what keeps this reality moving forward. Right. So,
I've thought a lot about what you just said. Like I've been thinking because people have complimented the fact that even though I do curse a lot, I don't in my courses, especially in my expansion mastermind. And I've had a bunch of parents reach out to me being like, we've given a lot of this material to our kids and it's beautiful for me. I'm like, I never even thought about that, like it never even crossed my mind that this material could be something that could be useful, but I love it. I think it like made me pause for a moment and think like, maybe I should come up with something that's like a little easier to digest, like a little bit more simplified, a little bit less in like the mature posture and more maybe but I don't know if that's like, I don't even know how to go about committing to that. I would need some recommendations of like, what do people want to know? Because I don't want to posture as somebody who's like, I don't want to cosplay as somebody who knows what's best for your kids, right?
Yeah, completely, man. I just I have this meme that I'm very fond of, and it's like, live your life like you're on a permanent audition. And when you're on an audition, you're trying to get the part, right? Yeah, that's why you go on an audition, especially if you're an actor.
Doesn't it make you nervous though?
Yeah, I mean, you can, but when you go to enough auditions, the nervousness goes away.
Does it?
I think so. I mean, does it go away completely? I mean, I've been on stage. I've spoken on stage. I know what it feels like now versus what it felt like before, and
Yeah.
definitely it was more stage fright then. So as you
Yeah.
continue on, the ease comes and the nervousness goes away. But I'm
Hmm.
saying is that if you act like life is a permanent audition, you're trying to get the part. Well, then the question is, what part do you want to have? Well, the part you got is you're the main star of the movie. Like, this is your show. And I can tell all of you right now, and I've said this so many times, out of the 8 billion people in the world, you are the most important person. Not me, not Jordan, you are. Because you have the final say. You have to pay your bills. You have to wake up and feel your experiences and the pain and suffering and pleasure. So really, just what do you want to do? And if you listen to the world will tell you, someone's going to tell you you can't do it. Somebody will tell you that you can't do it. Someone will tell you that it's not worth it. Someone will tell you that it sucks. Someone will tell you that you're a fool and you're a moron and you've lost your mind. But that's the way they see it. It doesn't have to be the way you see it. And that's what makes you special. So if you're going to listen to them, that means you're putting yourself below them, and that's just not the way it is, man. You're the top dog at the top of the pyramid is you, not me, not them.
That's
But
right.
a lot of you put yourselves in subordinate positions because you like to ask, hey, what do you think about this? That's the worst thing you can do, is ask somebody what they think, because they're going to tell you and it may not be what you want to hear. So why would you want to ask them? What do you want to hear? What do you want the answer to be? That should be the question to yourself. Like, what do I want this answer to be? Rather than asking my neighbor, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about it? What do you want it to be? And that's what the answer should be. So when you create from that space with no distractions, or at least limiting the distractions, in a very distracted world, you become a very big creator in your own reality. And then you literally become the star of the show. A lot of people are I'll yield now and I'll let you take it over, Jordan. But I think a lot of people in this world, the majority of the world, we see a lot of extras in a movie. They're not the stars of the show.
Yeah.
They are, but they're not. They'd rather be an extra in the movie, in the distance, in the background, and not be seen for whatever reason. But if you ask them, do you want to have this? Do you want to have that? Yeah, I want this. I want that. Well, you got to be the star of the show. You can't be an extra anymore. Oh, okay. Maybe they don't know that. Maybe you don't know that listening. So in order to be the star of the show, you got to turn the distractions off in a big way, because those are contributing to you not being the star. And then you have to answer your own questions with your intuition. And I think the intuition will reward you. Essentially, you could say it's the voice of the divine, right? The voice of the divine is in your mind, and it's constantly talking to you. I mean, I have an ongoing conversation with myself all the time. You'd think I'm psychotic. If you got to hang out with me in my house, I'm constantly talking to myself. Like, who are you talking to, Logan? Always, But I think that people don't use their intuition, and it diminishes. Because it's like, if you have a higher self and it's trying to talk to you and you don't listen to it because you're constantly asking what your neighbor should do, then the intuition, if it could talk, it'd be like, oh my God, what the hell's the point? This person's not listening to me. Hello, is anybody home? McFly. So your intuition's talking to you, but you give it up by listening to other people's opinions, especially their movie.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about this, because it's like I feel what brought me to like my core philosophy of why people are intuition deaf is because their ego is damaged. And you made this statement before about like becoming the top of the pyramid, and unfortunately the reason why people can't posture themselves as the capstone of the pyramid is because, first of all, you have to be okay with becoming the entire pyramid.
True
And
that.
until you're ready to do that, like that's what's making everyone feel nervous, you know? Because they feel like, I think this is the one part of the technology of convincing people of outer space, and the idea that like we're one of many billions of possible places for life, it's to make you minimized, it's to make you feel like nothing.
Right.
And I believe that you are the Matrix. Like this whole thing that we call reality is because you are here.
Yep.
It's not because of God. It's not because of, this is all just to keep you away from accepting that you are not only the pyramid, you're the whole fucking Giza plateau.
Yep.
You're the whole thing. You're Egypt. You're the Jordan River. You're the Euphrates. You're all the stuff. And man struggles with that because man's ego is shattered, and it's because it's from birth it is being slowly chipped away at by like a tiny little dull chisel, and you're sort of left fractured and in pieces, and you have to make that decision, like, do I want to piece myself back together again? It's like the Humpty Dumpty story. He
Yep.
was an egg, ego, echo. So it goes deep, but like I feel like just to keep things simple, healing your ego is the hardest thing to do in this matrix because every time you showcase that your ego is in a healing process, the agents come out. It's like what you just said before, like the doubt shows up. So I always tell people, transmute their doubt into your gasoline. Like let it fuel you because once you become okay with the fact that there will be doubt, then it's not even like you're auditioning for a movie anymore. It's like you're making other motherfuckers audition for your movie.
Yep. That's it. They're auditioning for yours.
Like you
Absolutely.
know that scene in the Truman Show where like Truman starts figuring out that there's like some shit going on,
Yeah.
and then who's the main character?
Ed
The not the
Harris?
main character. Who's the yeah? I don't remember his name. I think he's also in
Christoph. Oh, you mean the
yeah, yeah,
guy?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Kristoff. Yeah, yeah. And it's like that. It's become a meme lately where it's like, you know, you're buzzing into somebody else to tell them to do something because he's like figuring it out, and you're like, go send the agents, right? Like, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the thing. It's like when you start to develop this confidence and when you start to align,
Yep.
that's when there's some fucking guy on a headset like sending in agents to come fight you like the Matrix movie, like
Yep.
straight up it is
Yep.
1,000,000% the way.
Yep.
And you know what, I don't want to like get emotional, but like that person might be your mother, that
Mm.
person might be your wife.
Mm.
You know how many people are here listening right now, they're like, my husband does that to me. So instead of like breaking up and like hating this person or having resentment, like tell them that that's how you feel. Like I put it into words for you. Like you are here to heal each other's egos. That's the purpose of a relationship, whether it be sexual or not. Like I'm here to connect with Logan, so he is part of my process. We're all part of each other's process. Like,
Yep.
and I don't even like calling it healing. I just use that term because it makes it a little bit easier for people to understand. I hope I'm making sense.
Totally. Totally makes sense. Completely.
So it's like design that once you find your way, somebody is fucking throwing mud on the street so you don't know where to, like, you don't even know, should I keep walking forward?
Yep.
And then at the same time they're teaching you to like follow bear tracks, you know, so you're leading right into the hornet's nest, as they say.
Yep. Yep. I've said so many times on this channel that, you know, and we've all been agents. Like Agent Smith is the one to get you back into the matrix, so to speak. Like, and I mean
Yeah.
matrix by asleep, like just, you know, willingly going along with everything. And so when things are moving along and you think you've gotten ahead, all of a sudden something comes into your life and throws you off course. You know, a big curveball. And like you said, it could be a mother, it could be a wife, it could be a husband, it could be a
Yeah.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
Like it could be somebody that means a lot to you,
Yep.
man. And like I believe that that's why that person is with you to begin with.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you needed that mom, you needed that like shitty high school coach that would yell at you, like you, all of that, you need all of that, we need all of it, I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
I actually like, I feel like a good way to summarize my outlook on this whole thing is like everything is perfect, literally
Yep.
everything is perfect. And like we, regarding the heaven and hell conversation, heaven and hell are just states of consciousness, but they're choices.
Yep.
So when this thing that one person calls hell arrives in somebody's life who's a bit stronger, they just look at that person and they're like, shut up. And when somebody has gone to the other extreme, anyways, like, and see, then it becomes this like scale that never ends. You know, it's like the Libra. But yeah, man, this was such a powerful conversation. I
It was
loved every
great.
minute of it.
That's been great. I know
Beautiful
you're
thoughts.
probably winding down. Do you wanna share your screen and mention your course since you just released your little baby?
Yeah, man, sure. I could show people this platform that we're cooking up. I don't know if you could see my screen.
Yep. Go ahead. Now we can.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much time. I mean, I've already shared a lot of information over on my YouTube channel. Anyone could head over to watersabove.app, but this is effectively a new platform that we just created. A little bit ago, I was talking about this member map technology. It's really dope. It's our member directory. So everything that's happening around the world and our ecosystem, it's just getting started. We just opened up recently, so we're just opened our doors, and we already have people from in Africa, Australia. Like, it's amazing to see how global our community is. So this is the start of the project where we have all the places. Every time somebody joins, it automatically adds either the state, even goes way deeper to the city level. So if you were to go, to example, to Denver, can be, well, see, there's like people aren't even from Denver in our community. How dope is that? Like, you would expect people to have to be in the capital, but they're not. I love this. So the more I like venture through my own platform and I get to see where everyone is from around the world, it actually, like, my expectations are always the other way. It's so cool to see how niche the community is. But then yeah, we could have the people, I'm not going to show that for their privacy, and then we have groups as well. And this is really just the start. So we're going to be loading in all of the images. This will all be custom. And the other part to this will be interests as well. So if somebody was to create like a Denver rock climber group, we'll be able to find that in member map. And it'll be pretty dope because once we load it in with all of our interests, then if people are interested in any specific hobby, we're going to be creating groups around that. And I believe starting next week, we're going to have our men's group and also our women's group starting meetings. So every week there's going to be my meeting that I do with our community called the Clarity Key, as well as a dedicated men's group, dedicated women's group. And we haven't even really announced that we're doing this officially just yet. So we're putting our feelers out. We already have a lot of people that are super interested in it. And then we're going to have other groups that are dedicated to a weekly meeting. So we'll probably have a health and wellness one, probably have one for something regarding like just general community meeting too. We have an events technology that we've created as well. It's really epic. We're going to be creating some advanced notifications for that very soon. And this is a big piece of the technology. This, we just created this. I think you'll like this a lot, Logan. It's called Focus Mode.
Mm.
And Focus Mode is dope because we're aligning each day of the week with the planet. And then I created this system where we have what I'm calling a daily check-in. And you could see, let me quickly open this up. Today is Tuesday. So we have tied to
Mars.
Mars, and every single day gives you a nice template, like a step-by-step blueprint. And we made this very user-friendly where I'm actually giving people some inspiration for what could be their daily checklist. And if you go ahead and click that, it will automatically paste it into this for you. So just so amazing that we got this pulled off. It's
Dude, that's
actually one of the
congrats,
reasons
man.
why
That's huge. I mean,
it's
just all the work. I can see how many hours you have. How many hours do you think you have in this thing?
it's taken 10 months.
That's crazy, dude. Well, congrats,
Yeah,
man. I mean, I can't wait to see what this thing looks like a year from now, 6 months
yeah,
from now, you know?
yeah, man, truly. And we're doing a huge upgrade right now on Archive, which is where all of our course platform stuff will be, all of our program stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we already have this 9 week accelerator loaded in. We're putting the final touches on that as well. So that way, when people join, as I told you earlier, there's the esoteric numerology blueprint. You get started there right away, and then it sort of sets the tone for the rest of the experience. And it's not a course. This is really like an experience. It's all rooted in numerology. Um, it's 3 phases, and then it's broken down utilizing the 369 code. It's not just about creating a business. It's all holistic.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to start getting people on board. And then, yeah, the final piece to this puzzle, which is probably the most epic. I don't know if I've shown you anything about this.
No. The
Uh,
hell's this? This is
yeah, so
cool.
this is called Oasis. It's probably the most groundbreaking technology we created. This is my baby.
Mm.
It's a very personal journey where if I go back to the um overview. Do you see what this is? Can you guess what this is?
Is that Mount Manuru?
No, so this is the sagittal section of the human brain.
Oh, the brain. Okay. Okay.
So here we have the thalamus, the
Oh, all
pons
right.
coming down to the
Yeah, I was
brainstem. So
close.
this is all based on the um human brain.
Right.
And every section of it is dedicated to what I'm calling a path, whether that be self-discovery, we have creative expression, epiphanies, which is a huge part of my process. presence, integration, and then we have these custom built studios that are really epic looking. Everything's custom built, everything we made. Um, this is no AI. So what's amazing about these spaces is these are what
it's
we're calling
3D.
portals. You can, yep,
Cool.
yep. And you could pop into these portals and you could essentially turn on your webcam or you could turn on your microphone and you can start talking with people instantly.
Oh yeah.
So there's no need for a Zoom link. There's no need to, yeah. And what's really
That's cool,
epic
man.
is I'll show you real quick in Portal. We created this system where we could actually type out a place in the map. Sorry, my internet is very slow
That's
right
all
now.
right. That's all right.
But if we were to go here and I was to say showing Logan, and then I'm going to press that Oasis button, and then we're going to go to the lake, press plus. Now I'm going to press enter, and we're going to see that this created a hyperlink button. So now when you see I'm showing Logan the
Oh,
lake,
okay.
I'll click it and I'll immediately be able to go there. No links needed at all.
Oh, nice.
So this is really fucking awesome that we created this to be so user friendly. And all of these spaces, by the way, are very intimate, like vulnerable stories of mine. So this is the first place we created. It's based in New Jersey, believe it or not, when I lived there. And everything here is very personal. It's a lot of Easter eggs. And I have stories built on every single place. And then as well, it connects to the specific part of the brain that's associated with the
Okay.
space. So you can see this is the temporal lobe.
Temporal.
I wanted to create something that had like a lot of meaning and something that would inspire people because I believe we're shaped by our stories.
Yeah.
I think our experiences are very meaningful, and I think a lot of people are like worried to express their past, even though like it feels like all the great creations come from people being vulnerable about that.
Yeah.
That's how you're able to help people, you know? So anyways, I won't take I'll wrap that up there. There's plenty more, but yeah, man.
That's
I'm really
awesome.
excited to have launched this. It's a very unique program. And also, we're not just doing yearly anymore. Last year, we were only using Discord and we were
Uh-huh.
only using my Wix course platform.
Oh yeah.
So we were unfortunately limited to only having one membership type, which was an annual. But this time around, we're able to do a monthly. So that's going to be really epic because our monthly, we're also allowing all of the content library as part of the experience.
Sure.
So you're able to get what we could consider many courses for that affordable monthly price. And I'm actually going to be loading in my decoding mastermind and my expansion mastermind.
Oh.
So it's just unbeatable value. The amount of content in the library that'll be there, plus 4 meetings, like essentially group coaching calls every month. We, I think, went above and beyond. So not only is it the best value thing that we could offer, but it's the most beautiful platform and it's all made by us.
Right. That's awesome, dude. Well, congrats on the journey.
Thank you, man. That means the world to me. Somebody said something about the hands of censorship. Yeah, one of the important things about our social platform we are calling Portal is that it has no paid ads. There's no addictive algorithm, so there's no algorithm at all. We designed it in a way where you actually curate your own feed, and then the whole feed is actual people's posts. Unlike when you go on X or YouTube or any of these other apps, you will see tons of advertising, or you're just limited to like a sliver in the center for content, and hence why it's kind of like rotted our brain. And the other thing is we'll never sell your data. So we've set up a system where it's very well maintained. And obviously, I'm somebody who cares a lot about privacy, censorship, and protecting myself. So, of course, I built an ecosystem that had that in mind from day one.
Mm. Well, I mean, I can tell you put a lot of effort and time into it. It shows. Again, I mean, 10 months, and knowing you probably went above and beyond 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. So, I mean, the numbers are probably staggering at how much time you have invested into it.
Yeah, I work like typically, and this makes people like cringe, but like probably 16 hours a day
Yeah, that's
on
pretty much
average.
what I do.
On average.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I know you're putting in the work, man, because I know you.
Yeah. I mean, when you really kind of look at your life and you see how much time you spend in a certain area, it kind of says a lot about, I mean, I could say that if I had to put into the equivalent of going to school, with all the years of decoding. I mean, I've got a master's degree, time wise. I'm not saying I'm a master in it, but I mean, I have a master's degree in a lot of these areas. Even, could say I have a degree in theology and mathematics and some of these other areas. And even though I don't have all the answers, and so the same is for you, all the areas that you've put your time into, the date and time and moon cycles and all the crypto stuff, dude, you got a kind of a master's degree in those areas, the specialty.
Yeah, probably put it in my 10,000 hours, I think. Maybe I have. I don't know. Yeah. But like the one thing though is I truly love what I do because like I see the alchemy of it. Like it's so amazing to go from idea to um yeah, I don't even need to go there. Like I think I just rather the work speak for itself, but like I love it. I think it feels timeless in a way, like even during the day. Like I don't realize I put so many hours in. I don't. Do you
Do I?
notice that you spend like a 14, 15-hour day like while it's happening?
No, man, it goes by so quick.
Yeah, yeah, it goes by
Fast.
so
I think everybody would
rapidly.
agree that time goes by much faster now, which says a lot about what age we're in. Because I don't remember time moving by this fast, honestly.
Well, there's days where I feel like it's fucking moving slow.
Really?
Like when I'm
I'd never
because
ever feel like it's moving slow.
yeah, because like with this new project, it's so much more. Like it's so much more responsibility, the legals, like all this stuff going on behind the scenes. It's not so simple. So, yeah, like when you're making everything, like every little component, and you're working with very little people, um, it just takes time. And some things you feel are accelerating rapidly, some things you're like, what's going on, Like, and those detours are important. Getting slowed down by the process, I feel is awesome. I'm maybe impatient because I have such a big vision and I move fast. Like I'm one of those people that I just want to get things done, you know?
Yep.
So it's tough when you have that code where like you want to do, but the simulation slows you slows you down,
Yeah.
So I'm learning to I think this project out of all things, it took me 10 months to get it to this place, So like and we still have more to go. Like next month we'll have the mobile app out. So it'll be 100% mobile ready too. Like that's going to be a game changer.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yours is
can't
not
wait to
mobile.
show
It's not
you.
mobile friendly yet.
It's mobile on browser. So
Ah,
if
okay.
you were to go on but that's another thing, bro. To make a mobile app is its own project.
Yep.
It's not the same as making
Yep.
a web app.
Yep.
So
I
that's
know.
another thing people don't know, where they're like, so yeah, like that way the membership now will be even more valuable because it'll have the mobile going. And we made the mobile designed with as much care and attention to detail. So it's not just copy paste kind of job at all.
Yep.
Um, one person said something. They said about like the virtual world thing and Oasis. Oasis is not a virtual world. Oasis is actually to make people finally talk with each other. It's the antithesis of a virtual world, where like with metaverse, you're like this little cartoon character, and like that's a virtual world. Imagine what me and Logan are doing right now, but we didn't need three separate technologies to make it happen, or at least two.
Yep.
You might be using OBS, correct?
I do. That's what I'm using right
Okay,
now.
so let's run this down, guys, for the people who make comments like this. It's you need OBS, you need Zoom, and you also need YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I built, you don't you have that. What we built, it's our platform. And Logan has his profile. I have my profile. Logan has his computer with webcam, or he could even be on walking to the gym on his phone, and he could be in Oasis talking with me with no links needed, with no complicated setting up some meeting time stuff. So yeah, it's not a virtual world. It's not like metaverse at all. It was designed in a way to actually get people to finally interact with each other, so they're not only just texting with comments and posting like you see with X or you see with um, even Instagram. A lot of Instagram business is done via DMing each other.
Hmm.
So we made this so that you can now talk with people, which is maybe a little ahead of its time. Like it's starting out slow. It's a very brand new idea. It's not something that people are used to, which is why I'm very proud of it. Because even though it's like this idea that might take some learning curve, I think it's for the best.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have baby steps. You're gonna have, you know, the starting point, and that, like I said, I can't wait to see what this thing looks like a year from now, because a year is gonna go by quick. 2027, May
Well, you want to know
2027.
my idea? You want to know, like, I will
Sure.
plug this out there into the universe, because I don't mind, like, God listens, but I kind of like want this to evolve into, I don't necessarily have the perfect explanation, but if I can give you an idea, like WeWork, like I would love to make like my version of that and not have it be this insane real estate venture, you
Mm.
know? Because that's what WeWork became. It's like McDonald's started as a fast food like they started as a restaurant that became fast food that became a real estate
Yep.
conglomerate. Like now all they are is real estate. But the WeWork thing at its core, the idea is actually insanely influential to me. And I think like if people like you and I who are in the position where we have communities would start to entertain these ideas and put venture capital, like get capital together, we could make these spaces, and then it's not all like quote unquote healing center vibes or yoga studio vibes, which is nothing wrong with that, by the way. Like those spaces could have dedicated rooms for those exact things, absolutely. But like what I feel is missing in the world is just a space for people to come and chill.
Right.
Like it doesn't need to have a purpose. It sucks as you grow up. Like one thing that I don't like about growing up is everything has to be organized over alcohol or drinking in some form or eating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's never a way to just like chill. Like
Well,
when
now
you
you
were
could
a
just
kid,
be on your phone, be in the Oasis,
yeah,
and
that's what I mean.
drink and
So
eat when no one knows.
well, there's like the world of like, yeah, sure, but like I was saying my long-term vision
I
where
know,
you
I'm
said
just
where could
playing.
this be in a year? Like
I know.
I would love to forecast that idea out there that there's a world of like why not acquire places, real estate where we build it out to be a hangout space, but it's also co-working space.
Yeah, for
And in
sure.
that co-working space, you're physically able to interact with people and inspire each other, motivate each other. And you could totally load up the space with health and wellness stuff. Why not?
Yep.
Imagine like you had a cafe and it was only serving food that came from another enlightened person in our community that loves to cook or loves catering.
Yep.
There's a job.
Yep.
So like I'm thinking very, very big with this. And I think that this is the start. Um,
Well,
so yeah, I'm just putting that out there and I'm really excited for this.
beautiful. Well, I'm excited for you and your community, and whatever. I mean, the collaboration. Definitely, there's something probably there. So, and what's great about your project is that you're taking AI and you're using it as a tool, like a carpenter as a saw or a hammer. It doesn't just rely on, the saw or hammer or praise just one or the other. It uses it in the tool box, and that's what you're doing with the AI. So that's what's great. Because I don't see it going away. I get asked this a lot by people, like, what do you think the future is going to look like? And the only thing that I can base the future on is what I know about the past, and we know that some of the history has been fabricated, as we've already talked about. So that can be problematic, challenging. Like, because people want to know, did it really happen? Well, there's a lot of history. I shouldn't say a lot. There is some history that didn't happen, but we think it happened, right? So unless you were there, eyewitness accounts don't matter, really. That doesn't mean that they're legit. So what we can do is just verify the best we can. And when you look at these ages that we've lived through, seemingly, so like these artifacts and all that. It's like I just decoded the Trumpster and the Boys show and King Nebuchadnezzar and making all the connections. Well, Nebuchadnezzar was a king of Babylon, and he's written on a tablet. Does it make it legit? No, not necessarily. Somebody could have fabricated that to make it look real, because they said, you know what, someone 2,000 years from now is going to read this and they're going to think it was real. It really happened, but it really didn't. But maybe it did, So when I look at the historicity of the timelines and all that stuff, that's all I can go off of. And then I'm astrology. So it's about,
Yeah.
and then I say WWW and internet and the hive mind and self-driving cars and flying cars and MP3s and us merging with the VR and all this kind of stuff. Like, we're not going back to the Piscean stuff. We're not going back to living in huts. I just don't see that happening. So the future can be really beautiful, but it also can be very depressing depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah. I think it's because people are lacking vision. Like there's very little visionaries and like people are scared to risk being one. And I think that's a shame because it's like we all have something we desire, right?
Yep.
And we all have something we're like looking forward to, I hope. And I feel, yeah, like the volume knob on humanity over the past 5 years has been turned down quite a bit. Like, and it's making people lose that visionary in them. And for me, I look at all energy like is equal. So like if it leaves one container, it goes to the other, right? And I'll speak for myself. Like I've been more a visionary lately.
Mm.
Like it's the only way I would have been able to fucking do this new platform. It's the only way I would have been able to create it. So it requires that commitment to vision moreover than just having vision. Like you need to do. But first there's a vision, right? And very, very few people have one. They're just under this belief that like we're doomed, you know?
Yep.
Or some people are suckered into the idea that like, oh, I don't need to get great at anything. I don't need to get skills. I don't need to commit to becoming a better version of myself because the AI will just do all that for me, right? So there's like, though that returns back to where we were earlier. But I still think like the vision is missing. And you know what's hilarious? Like AI probably has more vision than the average person. Like if you were to utilize AI and just like ask it, like if you were to share the idea with it that you have, it could probably forecast and explain a really nice, detailed, like
Sure.
well scripted vision. And that
Sure.
might be good for you. I think everyone should try that. If you're somebody right now who's lacking vision and you're just like feeling condensed by the vice grip of whatever future prediction analysis that you've been, you know, guzzling, um, go tell AI like some things that you desire out of the future. Like how would you do it? How
Yep.
would you want it to be? And just ask AI at the very end, like, now create a vision for me in less than 100 words. And then just print whatever, like, of course, keep going if you know how to prompt. But I bet that would be like a great exercise for a lot of people who are already currently lacking vision. Because I think that happens to a lot of people, right? There's a couple of things. People lack vision or people are lost, like, of what am I even passionate about,
Yep.
right? You probably get a lot of people that come to you that are just like specifically asking, like, Logan, what should I do? Like, what am I here to do? And I believe your Spotlight course plays a role in that for sure.
Yep.
Um,
It
and
does.
that's like the thing, like you have a vision. What's your vision? It's to give people the sight.
Yeah. It's
Like
yeah.
it's to give people the sight and like that clarity is powerful. That's why I call my weekly meeting that I do in the new platform, I call it the clarity key.
Great choice of words.
Thank you. Yeah, like, and I feel very confident, like that's something that I could help people with, like give them clarity because a lot of people are scatterbrained, but they are amazing. I meet so many people that are so fucking amazing. It's just they're lacking confidence or they're lacking the ability to commit or they're just the ego is damaged just enough to like be caught in just caught in that like tug of war
Yep.
between do I go this way, do I go that way?
Yep.
And I love that I'm able to help people with that. Like that feels very fulfilling. And that's what I want to give to everyone else.
It's beautiful, man. Well, same here, man. I mean, that's why we created our course, and
Can we meet up soon and you show me your Spotlight course?
yeah, of
Like I
course.
would really love to just see more of it. I
Well, you
feel
could just
like
go log on. I mean, it's open to anybody. It's open source now. It's all donation based, so you can just go in, and it's very easy. You click on log on, and
oh, okay. It's
you
available. Like it's 100% available now. I wasn't sure.
yeah,
You were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
If
like
you just
donations, but I wasn't
yeah,
sure like
yeah.
if
No,
there
it's a
was some like
donation based platform, but you can do it. Anybody can take it. It's not like it's obligated to.
oh
Yeah, so you just go to
yeah,
spotlight.life and
I will absolutely be donating, but I unfortunately don't have much time to do it. So
it's all good, man. But yeah, you
I'll
just go
hook
to yeah,
I would love to support you and I would love if I could connect with you sometime, even if it's for 10 minutes, if you could show me a little more
of
about it, because
course.
I would love to see how we could integrate this potentially.
Yeah, well, I mean, it already is kind of, right? Because my community crosses over into yours, and
Yeah,
I know
yeah, I know, but
plenty of
like,
people have taken the spotlight course, and
yeah,
it's opened up.
yeah.
I mean, the numbers are blowing
All
up,
right,
which has
Pamela.
been,
Pamela's a gem, bro.
dude, she's freaking
Pam
been
with
with
the
me from the
links,
beginning.
bro.
Dude, she's a monster here in a good way, man. She's Pamela
Yeah,
Five.
shout out to Pam.
Pam's she's on it, dude.
Seriously, bro.
Dude, she has
like,
them all. I don't know. She must be really organized because like just bam, there it is with the little icons, the little emojis as well. It's not like she just copies and pastes. So
yeah, this is like
she's fast.
this is epic, epic. Logan, I love you, brother. I have to go. I just realized we're at 3 hours.
Yeah, we're over 3 hours, dude.
It was amazing, amazing.
Went by fast,
and
right?
I really appreciate you. I'm so glad we got like many hours of just like free flowing.
Yeah, this was a really good chat, man.
It was like an epic jazz jam session.
It was, man.
You're an incredible person.
I appreciate that. Likewise.
I'm really grateful to have connected with you for the 100th time in this iteration of the simulation. But I'm gonna go. I love you guys. Thank you so much, brother.
Awesome.
Feel free to text me later.
Yeah, man. I totally will. I'm gonna leave all of you because a lot of you will sit here and chat. Jordan, you can hop off if you want, but
much love, brother. Take care, guys.
Much love, man. I'm gonna play for you guys and gals a brand new song from my AI band called Neon Soap Opera. This one is called Fantasy, and this one's on the channel already now. So if you want to go check it out, you can check it out. All this writing, all the lyrics, they're all done by me. They're not AI. So, but a lot goes into these, and they're a lot of fun, and this allows me to get my music out. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor and pleasure. Until next time, see you later.
Till the end, let's go for I pretend we drive and never reach the end. Stylized highway spin, I drive until the colors blend. It's faster than it's slower. The place I'm going feels closer. Easy and dreamy, needy and greedy. Will you meet me there? I've got to stare at you. At you. Will you please me? Really freaky, sleazy, clean and speedy, nice and easy. You're my fantasy. After all this is over, let's go back again. Try again, like it never ends, like it never started. Now we've bonded. Your ecstasy makes me honest. Chase the dragon and imagine we inhale all of this passion. Will you please me? Really freaky, sleazy, clean and speedy, nice and easy. You're my fantasy. Please make